The rogue room appreciates your recommendation. Another round, on you. Welcome back, supporter of the cause. Well, this is here, I guess I should use it.
Forget microphone, thank you so kindly. For 14 months of supporting me, I was gonna say like, well, I can't really say supporting rogue bitch. And Day, hello lovely, how you doing? Came in time to we love a good belch. It's fantastic. Hello friends, welcome back to Up Late with Abby. Well, I mean, I don't really have a name for the show. We tried Mask Off for a bit, but that was a different format. That could come back one day, but as of right now, new camera and everything, angle and everything, yes. We've shifted a whole bunch around here. I look good, thank you so kindly. I tried the thing with the blush across the nose again. I think you can see it a little bit more prominently tonight. I laid it on a bit. Mike, stop on by the sub lounge, why don't you? Grab yourself a drink and chill out. And I need to do something for subscribers. I don't know what you do for subscribers. I want to do something for subscribers. I see other people all the time and they've got awesome little production value things. And my stream is just like, thanks. Do the little, that thing. Need to work on your, yeah, it's tricky figuring out what exactly is the best thing you could give to a subscriber. What is the best thing you can give to a subscriber? It says 14 months, but in your mind, time knows no bounds. Time is an ephemeral concept. I can guarantee you I did not just use the word ephemeral correctly. I know a lot of big words. Oh my god, why is that so framey? That's choppy as hell, dude. Something is wrong with my cameras. Can I just throw that out there into the wind right now? Something is wrong with my fucking cameras. Blatantly. I can't. What simps? Am I allowed to say my subs are my simps? I mean, I don't mean it in a derogatory way. In 90% of cases, who understands the big words? This is the problem I have with Jordan Peterson. Right, I was thinking about Jordan Peterson today while I was doing the laundry. And the situation I distinctly realized about him and the stuff he puts out, I honestly wouldn't mind watching more videos of him. There is a debate between him and Slavoj Žižek that I've heard is really good, and Žižek absolutely destroys him. And I've noticed that, like, that, you know, you got a bunch of alt-right little chuds that absolutely cling to every word Jordan Peterson says. And the distinct notion that I have gleaned from what I've seen of his content, what I've seen of his interviews and things like that, he has a habit of throwing around super, super big words, all this complicated terminology, and then he intersperses it with ideas that people can latch onto. So the thing is, Jester, I'm going to time you out now. For 60 seconds. Hang on. There we go. There you go, get timed out. The thing I think I've noticed about Jordan Peterson is he'll approach ideas that seem relatable, he'll approach ideas that people can understand, and then he'll interweave all the weird, crazy concepts that he does know about. He's an intelligent man. To a point, I think. But he'll weave all of that weird terminology in there, and all of a sudden you've got an audience full of people who latch onto your stupid ideas. Let's face it, he has a lot of stupid ideas. And they think, you know, that audience thinks, well, I'm smart because I listen to Jordan Peterson. That's what they take away from it. They're just like, oh, because he said the big words, because he did the big things, and I understand some of his concepts. Those people immediately like, what the hell is a... What was one of the words he used the other week when we were watching one of his videos? I can't even recall what it was. He was saying so much junk, and it was just like, he's just filibustering. They just throw words at you. And I think the true mark of an actual intellectual is someone that can elucidate ideas to you, and you can understand them no matter your level of education. Someone who considers themselves an intellectual, wanting to seem smart to show off to their peers rather than actually enlighten the masses, as you've said, Mike. If someone wanted to seem truly intellectual, they would spout their ideas in a fashion that everybody can understand and break down. This is why I have the thing... I forget who said this. There was a philosopher who said, there's no such thing as a right-wing intellectual. And I agree with that concept, because I've noticed the right-wing intellectuals, again, like Jordan Peterson, they do that thing. It's like, I've got the big words and you can't understand them, therefore you're the dum-dum. Meanwhile, I've watched videos of many very intelligent people who are very good at putting their thoughts out into the world in a way that you can understand. Random person, pneumo ultramicroscopic silico-volcanoconiosis, sheepish people, yes, he wants us to kill people with a purple skin color. How you doing, Astro? Welcome in. A real intellectual wants to lift people up with them. Absolutely. Am I allowed to consider myself an intellectual in that regard? I mean, that's become my goal. Hold the phone for a second while I regain my English. I bucked the trend so hard that my mother and my sister set for me, and my auntie, and well, I suppose my other auntie is a nurse, which is different. But my oldest auntie is a social worker and a sociologist, which gives me the inspiration of sociology. We'll get into that shortly. My mother is a teacher, my sister is studying to be a teacher, and now I'm thinking to myself, I want to get a degree in sociology specifically to come on here on stream and create content that educates people and do research on sociological issues and use that as content and use that to help other people understand and, like you said, lift everyone up with me. That's my goal. I've gone from distinctly not wanting to be in a role where I am responsible for other people's intelligence, like teaching. Now I want to be a teacher in a sense, but specifically around sociological issues. I hate those people because it's not that they can't understand the big words, it's just they haven't met them yet. Exactly. I think I'm somewhat of an intellectual, yeah. Like I think I'm, at this stage, a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none. Like I know a few ideas at their base level, but I want to compound upon those ideas and expand on them. A lot of YouTubers in the commentary community are great at convincing people that they're knowledgeable and well-spoken without actually doing much research or fact-checking. That is true as well. Especially just fucking Isaac Butterfield. He's one of those people that just... He's literally like... It occurred to me that Isaac Butterfield... Kelgar, oh my goodness!
Guests. Welcome, friends.
Welcome, friends, to the Rogue Room. How did your stream go tonight? I checked your stream before, and I forgot what you were streaming. Hollow Knight. How was it? How did you go? I gave up on that bloody game. Hello, Mrs. L. How you doing, lovely? Mr. Jour, what's going on? Nice accent. Thank you to Boy65, by the way. Yeah, Butterfield is just a lazy comedian, he is. And it strikes me. We'll come back to this, because I want to welcome in Raiders. Welcome in, Raiders. I'm going to put a stream marker here really quickly. Welcome in, Raiders. What's going on? How'd the stream go? Tell me all about Hollow Knight. I want to go back to that. I feel like I didn't give it a good enough chance. I feel like I didn't give Hollow Knight a good enough chance. Internet broke, so he's sending me the squad. Internet disconnected literally as you finished the game. Oh my god. So that was... Okay, that's a bit exciting, I guess. I mean, it's a change on the traditional format of ending a stream. It's like a sudden... You know, it creates an impact, I think. It sends a message. It's like, I'm not going to subscribe to your traditional model of streaming the videos game. How do you do it so fast? Probably has mod icon. Oh, mod icon, yeah. I was going to look at the mod view. Kez is they, them, by the way, not he. Yeah, it's definitely one way to end. Gives the time. That's cool. Ban, timeout, remove message. I have to look at that. I want to look at mod view because mod view is a complicated mess and I would like to dive into it. Net just revived itself. Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Yeah, that's another thing. Chester is like, on the internet, the idea is, I can't believe this still sticks out in my mind, and I'm honestly considering trying to buck the trend as much as I possibly can. I've been referring to virtually everyone, even people whose pronouns I know, as they, them, because they are the unisex pronouns. They, them is the... Doesn't matter what your gender pronouns are. If I don't personally know what they are, they, them is the default. So I'm trying to set myself as the default is they, them. But I am kind of considering bucking the trend of, like, everyone on the internet, you know, assumes, generally speaking on a social level, we assume that usernames and things like that we see, and when, you know, if there's nothing immediately obvious, Mrs. Lante, Mrs. already tells me she, her, off the bat. It could be wrong, you could have different pronouns, but our first assumption on seeing that. But generally speaking, we assume he, him, right? We assume he, him with any username most of the time. And I want to buck that trend and refer to everyone I don't know the pronouns of immediately by their username. Let's call them all she, her instead. Let's make that the new social norm. But honestly, no, seriously. Let's start assuming everyone is feminine on the internet. There are no men on the internet. Everyone online's a girl. The men are disappearing. They're disappearing, folks. Especially on the left. I'm not going to do the whole bit that Vorsh did. But he did a tremendous video as a response to Abigail Thorne coming out, and you should watch it. Girls are actually a thing on the internet. Girls are the only thing on the internet. Lady of the Pizza, how you doing? Good morning, welcome in. No, but yeah, generally speaking, I would advocate they, them for everyone, if you can manage it. Oh no, your defense protocol. Yeah, I'll trigger my defense protocol. Look, the lights change color. That's all I got. Assuming things are bad, for example, you bet no one will believe the Queen of England. Queen of England and Marilyn Monroe were born in the same year. No, I could believe that. Fox, thanks for the hydration. I don't have my bottle with me. I'm lazy, and I haven't refilled it today, so I'll go get it soon and I'll fill it up. I remember reading a bunch of articles in uni which used she, her pronouns, and it was very refreshing at the time. Yeah, I've noticed that too. I've seen that in certain educational texts, where just generally, looking lovely. Thank you, Mrs. L. Thank you so kindly. I've seen that too in certain informative texts, where it's, you know, like they're referring to a fictional character that is presented as an example within the text, and they just refer to them as she, her, off the bat. There's nothing unique or distinct about their gender identity that appeals to anything in the text, but they just decide to go straight for the she, her, and it's very refreshing, honestly. Of course, universal pronoun usage. If you don't know who someone is, go they, them. Just like school notes that come home with the son daughters, like they're all students, just say your student. 17k, only a lot more to go for the real ultimate nothing. Actually, on the subject, while we're on the subject of the pronouns and all that, and it's like, the boys thing? This is going to sound weird because we've discussed this a few times recently on stream, the concept of using guys and dudes as gender neutral, and I've been using, like, I have been sort of jokingly using stuff like, yeah, the boys, like you said, Day, in a kind of gender neutral way for a while. I'm just like, can we de-gender boys next? So, I don't know why I think that'd be an amusing thing to do. Just de-gender all terminology. Get rid of gendered language altogether. Yeah, the fucking boys. Use boys unironically. Ironically, even when you're hanging out with a group of women. Exactly. Just everyone's the boys. Fucks is gender neutral. Yeah, you fucks. Gender neutral pronouns are so weird in Dutch, which is kind of a problem. How does that work? Because I know there are languages that are very explicitly gendered. Like, everything is gendered in certain societies, as far as I know, like male, female pronouns for everything. I think, dude, yeah, I've been thinking about that actually as well. Like, on the subject we've been talking about is dude and guy, can they be gender neutral? Has been the topic a couple of times. And I'm of the belief that it's like it can be, but generally speaking, it is still gendered. And that's where the tricky part comes in, is like, I'd like to be able to use that terminology in a gender-neutral fashion, but it still has a very distinctly masculine leaning to it. Same with boys. Girls is feminine, obviously. Ladies. It's so bizarre that we've become so accustomed to the idea of, let's say, how's it going, guys? To a group of people of all gender identities. And by the same token, if you go, how's it going, ladies, to the same group, somebody's probably going to raise chagrin with that issue. Bella is woman and bello is man or something like that. Yeah, I think that's true. Italian is. Because them is actually a possessive word in Dutch for some reason. That's really weird. We start referring to audiences as fellow humans. Hello, fellow humans. I am most certainly not an alien from the planet Mars. Though I wish I was. Although, if I was an alien and my home planet was Mars, I would be quite annoyed that Elon Musk was going to send more humans over there. We wouldn't want humans on Mars. Don't let us fuck up another planet. Figured they'd get used to it though and not see it as a gendered thing anymore in that language. Only speculation knows you don't speak any of those languages. Real question. Why is a trans female to use it? This is a woman's voice. I'm not sure what you're talking about. So in Dutch... Oh, I'll posture check, yeah, because I am sort of... Straighten your back, everybody. If you are sitting in your chair, straighten your back. Keep your neck straight. Shoulders aligned. Don't slouch. Children. They'd only send the smart humans though. They'd send the humans that they categorically deem smart enough. Straighten your... Okay, fine, gay your back. I don't care. One of them. Ace your back, if you feel it. What's going, Ren? How's it going? Better Hume than Cantoy. Oh, I haven't read The Dark Tower. All I know is they did a movie adaptation of it and they massively fucked it. Which is not at all surprising. You bet someone out there has an issue of being referred to as a homo sapien. Yeah. Honestly, it tends to be... tends to be dumb rural conservatives, I've noticed. What do you call me a homo sapien for? I like chicks. Because they have no idea what homo sapien means. You just finished Control Ultimate. I've got to get around to playing Control. It looks good. Heterosapien. Why are we called homo sapiens again? I've forgotten what the actual reason is. Yeah, why are we called homo sapien? Sup, Ty, how you doing? The name we selected for ourselves means wise human. Homo is the Latin word for human or man, and sapiens is derived from a Latin word that means wise or astute. I mean, it's accurate. Contrast that with, Hetero erectus. I had work tonight. Every time you spell tonight like that, I immediately think you are referencing Fortnite in some way. Gay equals smart. Exactly. With the coming out, I want to talk about this because we didn't get a chance to last night. We did, but we didn't, and that annoyed me because I really wanted to discuss the coming out of Philosophy Tube, the coming out of Abigail Thorne. Distinctly the fact that we've sort of noticed quite a few left-leaning, very philosophical and political types. So far, very recently, we've seen
the Rogue
Jim
Room
Sterling.
appreciates
Ty.
your recommendation.
Thank you so kindly for the host, Brent. Quite frankly, recently we saw Jim Sterling come out as non-binary gender trash, by their own words. And now I've seen Abigail Thorne come out as a trans woman. And I do wonder, Ty, there you go. Is it perhaps, I think philosophy would definitely play a hand here in opening up one's mind to the idea that gender in its current form, the social construct that we call gender, the gender binary, when you begin to tear apart those ideas with philosophical concepts, you begin to realize just how restrictive it all is, how restrictive the system of gender all is.
Appreciates your recommendation.
Chester, thank you so kindly for the host. Yeah, we begin to realize how restricted that system is. And by breaking apart from it, by breaking apart from the norm, we get to express ourselves in a way that we've often thought. Eddie Izzard too. Eddie Izzard, who has been notably what I would I don't think they labeled themselves until relatively recently, but they did recently announce that they want to live in girl mode from now on. She, her pronouns. They are still going by Eddie Izzard, and they have always been what I would technically call gender fluid, I suppose. Like, one of their biggest jokes, one of their most notable jokes as a comedian is, people, I'm paraphrasing, but they'll say, like, people say I'm a man that wears girls' clothes. And I would say back to them, these aren't girls' clothes, these are my clothes. I bought them, I'm wearing them, and I was like, yeah. Philosophy might also attract pensive types in the first place. I think so. Definitely. I think it attracts me, and I want to learn. I want to read more philosophy now. Of course, buying educational books on the subject is very expensive. Gender sucks. Be who you want to, wear what you want to, you do you. Exactly. And I think I see the appeal of being non-binary in that regard. But for me personally, of course, I just felt distinctly binary woman. It's very difficult to describe. It's difficult to unpack those feelings in a long-form format. But I'll try. We can try. Been intrigued by gender abolitionism recently, but always worried that it could be used as an anti-trans tool. I think you have a point. I'm trying to think. I can see it. I can see it as a way to deconstruct trans identity, perhaps. I think the why not mutually exclusive thing, you think there is a crossover between deep intellectual thought and questioning your view of yourself. Yes. I think like was mentioned, pensive types. People who think at length. People who find them... I'm going to say this right now, and I'm not trying to be demeaning or maybe perhaps ableist, but not really, but I'm going to say there are definitely people right now who just get caught up in the system and don't think. Like, they just get caught up as they grow older. They just adapt to whatever they've been told, basically. I am not trying to call them sheeple. I'm not using that terminology. I just think, despite the fact that some of these people might be intelligent types and might read and might have a grasp on all these different ideas, I think generally speaking, they get so built into their own routine that they don't consider broader concepts around our identity, broader concepts around who we are. Estrogen's a tablet. The unexamined life, that's a good way to phrase it. It's like some of us just get so caught up in, I need to have a career, I need to have a relationship, I need to have all of this, I need to get a car, I need to get a better car, I need to have a nicer house. And they fill their schedule with so much stuff. It must be a nice life, honestly. And this is, I think, very relatable to the phrase ignorance is bliss. We see a lot of people, I'm not questioning like their political affiliation or their level of intellect or any of these kinds of things. I hit the microphone again. Somebody buy me a really nice mic. Ellie says I look nice. Ellie, I'm certain you look nice as well. Thank you so kindly, lovely. But where was I going with this? I think the status quo situation. I've met many people who just abide the status quo without question. That's why when you sort of confront them about socialist or capitalist issues, some of them actually become confrontational because in their mind, you just have to be a part of the system. Like, this is just the way the world works. I can't do anything to fix it, so I'm not gonna. Can I just quickly comment on the fact that my headband is trans flag as fuck right now, thanks to the lighting in here. We got the blue, we got the pink, we got the white. Dude, that looks sick. It's not like actually laid out in the trans flag.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you
Chaotic
enjoy your
Neutral
stay.
Swiss. Thank you so kindly for the follow. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Grab a drink, sit down, and chill out with us. By the way, I've been meaning to read some of your messages. LibGen to the rescue. Oh, yes, actually, I did bookmark something on there. Sheep are intelligent. They are. Which is kind of... I suppose the idea is not that they're not intelligent, but that they are herded around by a shepherd. So the idea is... I do need a trans flag headband. I'll look into it. I'll see if I can find one. There's got to be one somewhere. Probably Etsy or something. Hang on. I'm sure there would be. Trans bandana. There's one for dogs. You can get a trans bandana for a dog to wear around their neck. Sure. Transgender tube scarf. Why are there dog bandanas? I don't want a dog bandana. Let's try... Yeah, I've found a few things. We'll have another look later on. We don't need to know why we called Homo sapien anymore. Because he has a different opinion. Yeah, I do need to get a trans black headband. I also think there's a crossover between artists and people who've been through trauma and want to understand the world so they can better understand what they've gone through. I can feel that. While people who haven't gone through an earth-shattering event are often not that self-aware. That's very true. That is very true. Like, I think the idea, and this... Again, I don't want to target people for things that are generally outside of their control. But this does lead into the idea of privilege. I have mentioned in the past that people who tend to say stuff like, I don't like politics, I don't want to talk politics, generally speaking, they are non-confrontational types who have the privilege of not really having to deal with many political issues in their own life, because everything else is going fine for them. So they have the option to dip out of that conversation and not really contribute anything, because they haven't really thought that much about it, because, like, we circle back around to the idea that their schedule's probably just too full with everything else that's going on. They go to their job in the morning. They wake up, they shower, they have their breakfast, they go to work. They work for 8 hours, they come home, they see their wife, or husband, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter who they see, right? The point that I'm trying to make is status quo people. People who just generally abide by the system. They come home, they see their partner, maybe their kids, they hang out for a bit, watch a movie or some TV shows. Maybe they read a book, doesn't really matter. They do some housework and they go to, have dinner and whatever and go to bed. And they wake up the next day and they repeat. And then when the weekend rolls around, maybe they play some video games, maybe they go to the cinemas, maybe they do other stuff. They don't take the time to ruminate on the state of the world, realistically speaking. And that's fine to live life that way, of course it is. I've seen it time and again. I've seen these people who are just living comfortably and they don't really feel the compulsion to look into deeper social issues and deeper philosophical issues, things that can sort of have a real mind-breaking impact. When I started reading and watching and understanding certain concepts, I had my worldview shattered, which, of course, over time, this goes back to, I think I finished, there's a course called Open Foundation at university, which is an enabling course to get into university proper, into a degree, which I'm thinking I may need to repeat this year if I want to go into a proper university degree. I think, let's use a phrase from trans terminology, which is, it can be fairly toxic. I think my egg started to crack in 2017 when I did my entry to social science. Entry to social science course. Not a degree, but course. Hello, Gingerbeard Man. There's nothing wrong with living the life that makes you happy, but you don't get to enjoy that life at the expense of someone else. Exactly. Goes back to the idea of empathy. People like to see themselves as highly empathic people, but it can almost be impossible to understand those who are living a completely different life from yours. Yeah, entirely. I try to consider myself as empathic as possible. I treat trolls with respect in here. People come in and constantly make attack helicopter jokes, and I try my best. It's like, why are you thinking that's an okay thing to come and say to me? What is going through your mind? Most things can be broken down to NAP, non-aggression principle. It's honestly a free way to live, non-aggression principle. Let me look this up really quickly. Non-aggression pact. Non-aggression principle. Also called the non-aggression axiom, non-coercion principle, or the non-initiation of force, and the zero aggression principle, is a concept in which aggression defined by initiating or threatening any forceful interference with either an individual or their property is inherently wrong. I mean, yes, absolutely. I'm strictly a pacifist. I do not believe in violence. Ow. Scratch my nails on the mouse pad. Should go and unwind before bed. Sounds good, day. Have a good one. Relax. It was a pleasure to see you on your stream tonight. Hope to see you again real soon. I'm not going to tell you which uni it was because I don't want to dox myself. But what I did at university was I did 2 courses as part of a thing called Open Foundation. It was 1 year of part-time study, and the idea was to get into a degree at the end of it, but I was overwhelmed by the pressure of it and everything else that was going on in my life. Like, I'm going to be 100% clear with you guys. My life was collapsing at that point, and I thought, I need to fill my schedule with study and a job. I had a job, I had study, and I was going through a severe relationship breakdown, and there was a lot of trauma there, and I was seeing someone at the time. That relationship collapsed. At the end of 2017, I got my certificate, and I was through so much trauma that I just put it aside and I didn't go back to do a degree. And now, having had 4 years, well, 3 years really, it was tail end of 2017. Now that I've had 3 years off from that and I've had a chance to really have a huge period of introspection, I've spent that time working in a couple of different jobs. I've spent that time reading and trying to get a better grasp on the world. I think I'm ready to go forward into formal study and actually expand my horizons a bit. What's going through most people's minds most of the time? Unimaginable suffering. I can imagine that. I can imagine unimaginable suffering, crazy enough. Because hating someone different makes others feel better about themselves. If they can have an excuse to put you down, they get to be better than you in their own eyes. Yes, indeed. And I hate that concept, I hate that principle, and I hate the fact that the system we live in, cycling back around. I am going to study sociology, fingers crossed. Social science is the degree. Bachelor of Social Science. So hold out for me. We're talking social science. We're talking the degree I want to get into, which is one of my big goals for 2021, is to get into this degree and actually start studying. And then, like I said before, use that to put forth ideas to you guys. So as I was saying, a lot of peers that went through Open Foundation got better grades in the long run. I've heard that too. The joys of capitalism-based self-esteem. So yes, going back to the status quo man, going back to or woman, or whatever, the status quo person, the person who has a full-time job, and they go to work and they're productive, and then they come home and they've got the family, and they've got their standard relaxation time, and they broadly thinking, do not consider the implications of the world they live in. They do not consider the specific issues that make up the world we live in, right? They just think that everybody else should be like them, and if anybody else is struggling, then they're not trying hard enough. These people are typically... Do we even have a middle class anymore? I want to say that I'm referring, generally speaking, to a middle class type of person. But at the same time, it's like the concept of middle class is so stretched at this point. I don't even know what a middle class person looks like in terms of their economic standing. You know, I'm thinking to myself, someone who lives in a house that's got 4 or 5 bedrooms, perhaps, 2-car garage, 2 cars to go in the 2-car garage, nice backyard, house is nicely laid out, you know, that kind of thing. They live in a nice area, their neighbors are good, or the issue more likely, they've got unproblematic neighbors, which generally means white people. They live near other white people that live like them. Very infrequently, there's a minority family that lives nearby. I think it's also important to remember, you're not excusing bad behavior, that a lot of these people have undiagnosed mental issues and learning disabilities, and due to pressure from the world, anxiety, and feeling like they have pressure to act a certain way, so they continue to present shitty ideas. I mean, that's a whole other thing. That's very true. You're very right. Remember a lecturer saying that most working class people consider themselves middle class nowadays. I get the suspicion they're not, though, and I think I distinctly recall a very similar discussion when we were doing the sociology module. There are a lot of working class people, a lot of laborers, who can afford things. They can afford to live without struggling too much with the income they have. But the issue then becomes, it's like they're not by any stretch middle class. They are, if nothing else, slightly above lower class. I'm pretty sure everyone thinks they're weirder or more unique than the average. Absolutely they do. Old lady names like Lily, Emily, and Rose are super in right now. You and the GF couldn't decide on a name for your daughter, so you went with Nan. We'll grow into it. Aaron on, welcome in, how you doing? For your own mental health, you had to put your blinkers on and focus on yourself and family because you couldn't deal with the outside world without self-destructing, and I completely understand that, and I think that's what I did. I was one of those people, quite frankly, who considered herself, back before she called herself herself, I really shouldn't bring that up so much. But I did consider myself, I can cover most of my expenses with the job that I have. We've got a car, we've got the kids, the child, and this is where, quite frankly, the idea sort of stems from, that I might have been slipping down the alt-right pipeline. Hello, Story Girl, how you doing? Prior to my transition, prior to understanding social issues on a broader scale, there was definitely a period where I was one of those ones that's just like, I don't want to know about all of the deeper issues. I don't want to have the discussion about racism. I don't want to have the discussion about sexism. Here's some situations where the sexism isn't real and the racism isn't real, so it's clearly not that big of an issue. Get over it. That was the way that I treated things. And I think there was definitely a point where I started to consume certain types of content that reaffirmed those ideas that were based entirely in ignorance, based entirely in the concepts of like, you're doing fine, you're comfortable, there are other people who are comfortable, who are like, members of those minority groups that everyone's always going on about how they're struggling and all that kind of nonsense. So you're doing fine. Anyone who's complaining, anyone, like all those people who've got the 96 different genders and all that sort of shit, like I used to distinctly think those things, because they'd make, again, coming back around to the Butterfield thing, the idea that, you're living fine amid the status quo, thereby anyone else's issues are free to be pointed at and laughed at and ignored. And I think that's what can affect quite a few people, quite a few socially unaware, socially unconscious people. I'm not saying they're not intelligent. Oh, fuck's sake. I'll get my water. Hold on. Don't look at my ass cheeks, alright? I'm wearing undies and I don't have anything under this, so just stay there. I was wrong. I did refill my water bottle. Hello. Okay, so. Dude. Dripping on me. There's one. We got 2 hydrates. Done. Oh, okay. Shall we continue with the discourse of normal people? Really, that's what we're talking about, and wasn't really what I was going to go into, but we will. It's going well, Fluffy. How you doing? What's going on? But we can continue this discussion because I like it. I like the discussion of normal people, because I am like, nowadays, I'm the furthest thing from it. I think it's funny at that stage when people are starting to lean towards bad ideas. All they hear is it's okay to not be okay, it's okay to need help, it's okay to be anxious and insecure about you are. That's another thing about this whole status quo person thing, is, again, they are taught to just ignore the other issues and be part of the system.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Maple Sausage, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. I really need to shorten that damn alert sound effect. Have a good stream. Thank you so kindly, Turquoise. Have a good one. I'll see you around. Thank you so kindly for swinging by. If you're an attack helicopter, can you ride me to my next appointment? All this name talk reminds me of a girl we called Noir because her name was Eleanor. She had a goth aesthetic going on. I love the name Eleanor, by the way. Yeah, flipped off. There you go. Anyway, that's not true though. So what were we missing? It's okay to be anxious and insecure about who you are. Apache attack Rafflecopter. My Rafflecopter goes swah 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 swah. I identify as stupid. I too identify as stupid. But yes, extreme forms of mental illness are generally demonized. That's for sure. And this is, of course, something that we do need to work on. I've been meaning to do a stream soon about autism, and especially extreme forms of autism and how many people misunderstand the concepts. But, that comes from, generally speaking, I would say, mainstream information about, like, the representation. Like, namely, If we use autism as the main example, we got Autism Speaks. Like we've talked about how Autism Speaks is a negative organization, a really distinctly negative organization that portrays autism as a disease that is to be cured. We want to try to find a cure for autism. As if like the charities behind autism are trying to, well, that specific charity, should I say, are trying their damnedest to cure cancer, right? Ridiculous. Autism Speaks, in which yet not autistic people speak. The charity needs to be shut down entirely. One of the largest problems we have as a society has led to issues like the alt-right. It's a compound of many different issues. The alt-right is a compound of many, many different things that I'll figure it out, don't worry. We're live streaming, so you know, just for the record, we're live right now, so I can stumble over my words a bit. The alt-right. Let me bring up a resource so I don't look like an idiot. What is the alt-right? You know what the funniest term is that I've heard? People calling for the alt-left. No such thing as the alt-left, you dickheads. Edit this all out, the alt-right next to the space. So it's a loosely connected far-right and white nationalist movement, according to the number one source of information on the internet, Wikipedia, the most trustworthy source of all information on the internet. Generally speaking, and this comes back to what we were talking about before, the status quo person. These people are generally normal people, right? The alt-righters in particular are generally what we would consider normal people. But they get radicalized by, honestly, what's the fucking phrase? Charismatic people. Honestly, charismatic people like Ben Shapiro, Stephen Crowder, Isaac Butterfield, prominent alt-right figure here in Australia, keep him in mind. And Joe Rogan, honestly, is one of the gateway drugs to the alt-right, with the fact that he constantly brings on these devil's advocates kind of people onto his show and interviews them at length and lets them spread their ideas, platforms them. And people get warped into this sense that, well, honestly, one of the big things the alt-right, one of the big foundational things is victimhood. These people are not just outright hateful people. They feel like there is a reason they have to push back against minority groups and people in other countries and all of these social progressive issues. The reason that they're pushing back is because they believe that their place in the world, as generally speaking the majority, is being threatened. Or their place in modern society, in Western society, is being threatened. Who cares about politics when you can just leave the planet and go to Mars? I don't want to go with Elon Musk. Who cares about politics when there is a doggy that needs love? There is. But if I were to get a dog, it would be wearing a communist neck scarf. Just so we're aware. Spewed a bunch of alt-right bullshit, but he was relatively intelligent. That's the thing. It's like some of these people, this is the misconception about the alt-right, this is the misconception about conservatives, is that they're stupid. They're not. Like, a lot, especially when you consider the ones who are leading these movements, they're not stupid. And more to the point, let's take a look at the situation that happened on Capitol Hill on the 6th of January. Like the large majority of the people in the crowds there were middle-class working people who had the time and the money and the effort to take holiday time to go to the rally. They had money to buy all of their merchandise and all of their cold weather gear and all of this other shit. They were carrying stuff that would have cost them a ton of money. Some of them were there with like full-blown megaphones and shit. And what else was there? They were, above working class people. These were middle class people. And the thing is, I think a lot of them realize their ideas are explicitly hateful after a certain point. And they don't care because they want to enforce that particular ideology. They want to act like There's a good video. We'll come back around to this in a moment. We'll do your poll, Mrs. L. Yes. Would you go? Why did I do it like that? Hang on. I'm just going to copy this. Okay. Let's ask this question really quickly. We'll just do a yes, no. Would you go? I'm gonna vote no. I used to think it would be a cool idea, but after thinking about it, I don't want to go. Although this planet's on its way out. Imagine caring about the internet when you can go to Mars. It's a red, dry, dead rock with no breathable atmosphere. I don't think it's a level of intelligence that leads to all rights, more to do with insecurities and internal issues not being dealt with in an open place where they feel it's okay to be vulnerable. So they double down on their point of view to the point where they change their point of view, unravels their entire self, so they double down again. You're absolutely correct on that. Can't provide a source right now, but you heard that people who believe in conspiracy theories tend to be middle class. Honestly, this is the thing that annoys me about my dad, is he has some speculations about COVID that he's been bringing up whenever we're talking about. We're not even talking about COVID. He just brings it up, and I'm just like, Dad's definitely middle class. Not that that's affected me at all. I'm still a broke bitch, and haven't heard from him since we went and seen him, and he found out I was trans, so I'm worried. I did not watch Death to 2020. But you are right, Mike. The major issue is, like I mentioned, these gateway drug personalities lead people who've, generally speaking, got nothing to worry about in their lives. Leads them down a path of, we've got the privileges that we've got now. But if we want to keep those privileges, we need to extinguish anyone who's not white and not straight and any of these things. Because those people, those crazy id-pol types, are going to try and take away our rights and take away our freedoms. Marjorie Taylor the fuck Greene, this bitch, put out another video a little while back speaking about how the price of freedom is paid in blood. It's like, bitch, you live in one of the most privileged circumstances in the goddamn world. You don't need to be killing anyone to maintain your freedoms. You've got them. They're secured. You're fine. They hate when their own logic is turned on them. They absolutely do. Problem is, Hollywood makes conspiracy theories sexy. They do. They do. As you said before, there are concerning inroads to Q. Let's have a look. The Instagram aesthetic that made QAnon mainstream. I missed the QAnon stuff. Where did you say it? Or did you say it? Maybe somebody else mentioned Q. They hate it when their own logic is turned on to them. Yeah, it's like the capitalism-socialism thing. The people who are always bootlicking capitalists, you ask them what the problem with socialism is, and they'll list problems with capitalism. Problems that are happening now under capitalism. It's like when the Black Lives Matter riots were at their peak. And, by the way, everyone said no, they're not going to go to Mars with Elon Musk. Apparently.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Sorry, girl. Thank you so kindly for joining us here in the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and enjoy your stay, or something. I've forgotten what the intro is. How was you not? I don't know, but you are now, and I appreciate it very much. But like, yeah, for example, the capitalism socialism thing. You'll ask them like, what are the problems with socialism, and they'll list problems that are happening under capitalism, and like I mentioned a moment ago, before I stopped, couldn't finish my thought. The Black Lives Matter thing, there was a particular right-wing politician who was putting out a campaign ad. He's like, this is what it's going to be like in Biden's America. And they used footage of the Black Lives Matter protests and riots that was happening under Trump's America. Like, they deflect so often, these particular types of people. We've gone from gender philosophy, by the way, to the alt-right, which I suppose, realistically speaking, not just that, they used footage from unrelated riots overseas. Oh god. No, there was actually specifically a campaign that was that did use Black Lives Matter related riots. Again, I do not believe Black Lives Matter was responsible for the rioting part of that. actually did a podcast where he was speaking with a sixth-generation Native American who identifies as a gay, trans, poly, female. We talked about how creating a genderless society would be an insult to anyone that isn't straight, as these rights have been sought so much, and validation is required, not a opt-in, opt-out method. Let me reread that so I can understand it. Space Cadet talked about how creating a genderless society would be an insult to anyone that isn't straight. I mean, it probably would, yes. Even the concepts of sexuality could arguably be defined as fluid in their own ways. Sexuality is a spectrum, gender is a spectrum. I've seen riots in the Netherlands lately, these people throwing firework bombs and plundering stores. No, I have not. I have not even heard of that. Like, people are depressed and unmotivated right now into capitalism, but according to them, they're solely socialist problems. Yeah, exactly. Like the homelessness issue. There's a significant homelessness issue, and yet when I bring up socialist housing ideas, which I haven't, and we're going to talk about it, the issue, people say, socialized housing is going to lead to just trashy low-income housing that's going to be absolutely turned on its head by unsavory types who don't deserve to have a roof over their heads or something.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Space Cadet, thank you so kindly for the follow. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Enforcing any gender norm sounds bad, and unfortunately, that's what we have now, is an enforced gender norm. You'll catch the video edit. Sounds good, Mrs. L. I am going to try to do a good video edit of this one. It's tricky because we've jumped topics, and that's where the lines get blurred. I'm not sure when one topic ends and another begins. It's very tricky to do this kind of thing, because we're live, we're talking about multiple different issues all at once. That's what the problem was with last night's stream. We had a bunch of good stuff to talk about, but we got sidetracked so often. It's a bit of an ADHD aesthetic, which I'm beginning to think maybe I do have. I might go and see if I can get a diagnosis for that, honestly. There's a thought in my head that maybe I'm attention deficit. Yeah, Bloodlines is a very rapey song. Radio Broken, sounds good. Take a quick look at this. So what's this? Hang on, there's another video we were given. Sammy, the Instagram aesthetic that made QAnon mainstream. This is Vox. Should we watch this? Should we give this a gander? It's so hard to focus on a specific topic when there are so many off-roads that are theorized as being at fault. So, yeah, this is why I think... I'm beginning to think, and this is the problem because I want to do my YouTube content as well. I'm beginning to think, I might need to dedicate a serious amount of time to doing a lot of research about these topics before stream. And then one of the big things I really wanted to do, especially after last night's stream, is direct the conversation. I want to hold the reins much more. Because last night was a disaster. I couldn't make a highlight clip from it at all because we were just here, then here, then here, then here, then here, then here. It's like nothing was cohesive at all. So I want to try to firmly grasp those reins and drive the conversation myself. And what that's going to mean for future topics, and it's not that hard to do, honestly. It's really not that hard for me to do this. Look up the basic concepts around a subject, write some notes down, and we focus on those notes. We focus specifically on the things that I would talk about. And that's one of my goals for this year, is to increase the production quality of the stream, and the manner in which I talk about topics is a big thing with regards to production quality, in my opinion. Making a thought cloud as all this comes up helps to maintain a direction. You think so? It might be an idea. But then I'd be distracted making a thought cloud. Have a question sheet. Where would you put it? What do you mean, like, where? Put it on stream. Put it where? Excuse me. Okay, shall we? So, I'm going to put a stream marker here real quick. Let's talk about this QAnon thing. Pin stuff that isn't directly related to come back to... Oh, yeah, true. You just know I would forget. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we've talked briefly about intersectionality, and all of these things that we're talking about, like all these different branching issues. We started on gender identity, and we got down to the alt-right, and we got into, like, the status quo of what people consider, living their normal lives, ignorance is bliss kind of thing, living according to society standards. And all of these different things are interweaved with one another. All these different social issues are interweaved with one another. Thank you for the hydration, Fox. I really need to get a different water bottle that doesn't condense so fucking much. Good lord. Gives you a place to look at what to research later. That's true. Oh, we have a look at this.
There's a certain look that's taken over everything. A certain color palette, kind of font, and design. Today, this visual style sells us meal kits, and underwear, and monthly toothbrush subscriptions, and just about everything else. But it's also showing up here, in seemingly harmless, trendy Instagram posts about child trafficking. On Instagram, there are over 800,000 posts like this, from social media influencers and regular users with the hashtag #SaveTheChildren. We've seen things like this before. Slideshows about social justice and current events dominated Instagram this summer. But something else is happening here. On Facebook, membership in pages and groups branded as anti-child trafficking grew 3,000% between July and the end of September. By the end of August, in-person rallies started taking place in cities across the world.
This is something that I was talking about recently, and I'm going to keep bringing this up. Pedophiles are an easy target. And I'm sure they're going to cover this in a moment. But yeah, like as we're seeing here, these red-wearing types, these MAGA hat types, have chosen a very, very easily accessible way to make their ideas relatable by saying it's the pedos. You know, we're trying to end human trafficking. It's something. Come over to our side. We're trying to stop the pedos, and that's been a broader issue than this QAnon stuff for a while. And I'm not defending pedophiles, for the record. I'm just saying it's a very easy way to target people. You label them pedophiles and child molesters and rapists and all of that, and it makes it very easy to build up an audience around hating that particular group.
Child trafficking is hardly
coercing them into your ideas.
But behind that surge in growth is the baseless conspiracy theory known as QAnon. Now, an ideology once confined to the more obscure parts of the internet is finding its way mainstream, one Instagram post at a time.
On the subject, oops, I didn't mean to do that. On the subject, I have actually been meaning to research QAnon for a while. I have not really known much beyond the whole pedophile conspiracy theory thing, so this is good. Thanks for this. In other words, cats are safe over this side. You don't want to hurt a cat, do you? Exactly, yes. The Canva look. Accessible templates that look familiar. Wait, you mean this thing? Like the actual visual style?
On October 28th, 2017, the first of a series of posts from an anonymous user appeared on the 4chan message board Paul. The user was nicknamed Q, after Q-level security clearance. That's the Energy Department equivalent of top secret. The community that followed and believed those anonymous postings became known as QAnon, and they developed an elaborate conspiracy theory lore that President Trump is fighting a global child trafficking network led by satanic, cannibalistic, left-wing pedophile elites. Their
I'm sorry, but I always just lose my shit at that. Satanic, left-wing, cannibal elites. It's fucking classic. It sounds so stupid at its core level. Let me just revise that. Hang on. A global child trafficking network led by satanic, cannibalistic, left-wing pedophile elites.
Their theories.
It's so fucking dumb. Welcome to the Rogue Room, Agent Rodman. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with his friend. How you doing? Funny how most QAnoners wouldn't understand how to use 4chan. Only Captain Planet can stop him. Look, I fully believe we need a reboot of Captain Planet. A full-blown hardcore action movie starring the guy, like we already had the Captain Planet parodies starring, what's his name? Don Cheadle, that's him.
Have been proven false time
we need
and time again,
feature-length version.
but that didn't stop the community from spreading, from 4chan to another messaging board 8chan, and to places like Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And as it did, the posts, videos, and memes explaining its ideology became more accessible. And
Natalie has spoken many times about the idea that YouTube has specifically become very, very far right. Now, of course, I mostly follow left-wing creators, so I'm not 100%. Maybe that's just... I mean, how are you able to tell, is what I wonder. With so much content being up here on the platform, how are you able to tell? But I suppose just the idea that those ideologies are present on the platform is bad enough. RedTube was a reaction to the alt-right wave on YouTube. That would make sense. Yeah, 4chan has gone from being, you know, there was some trolling operations that were really amusing in the sense that they were stupid. But over time, 4chan has developed a lot of power, I've noticed. That guy had to have been kidding about the satanic pedophile cults and all that. So you post on Facebook, well, welcome in. I hope you're doing well.
And digestible. Now, QAnon is a giant entanglement of conspiracy theories with dozens of offshoots that invites all different kinds of conspiratorial thinking into its fold.
QAnon has always been a big tent conspiracy theory that invites people of different beliefs. And the thing is, because the QAnon narrative is so broad and sprawling, people can kind of enter it and pick out the things that they like the best. That paired with the Facebook algorithm, which recommends like other groups that someone might be interested in,
There is a point to be made here about something. Okay. There is a point to be made about how video games can lead to alt-right thinking as well. Somebody recently mentioned a story about how they were watching highlights of Call of Duty Warzone. They were just watching highlight reels over and over again, and autoplay decided, you know what, after you're finished watching this highlight reel, we're going to show you a Ben Shapiro video. Why? Because there tends to be a bit of an audience who will go from watching Call of Duty to watching Ben Shapiro videos. So you've got people who are otherwise just interested in the video game who will then get linked to content that's not at all related to it, because other members of the audience are watching that content, and thus it spreads the ideology further. People get radicalized into ideas that they previously weren't even looking for, because algorithms will just recommend it to them. Known for B, V, and Pol is true. Would not conflate all of 4chan, some section, definitely. I haven't been on there in ages, but, yeah. Where's my water? Here it is. Oh, it's posture check, whatever. I'm having water, I don't care. Posture check. COD to Rogan to Shapiro isn't a hard reach for YouTubers. Exactly. You can easily, like, a lot of COD boys, a lot of COD pieces tend to go and watch Joe Rogan anyway. So as a result, YouTube goes, well, people who are watching and playing Call of Duty are interested in Joe Rogan, will probably be interested in Ben Shapiro, probably be interested in Steven Crowder, probably be interested in Jordan Peterson, etc., etc. Jokingly said, facts don't care about your feelings, that the streamer didn't know. Oh no. The thing is, the phrase, facts don't care about your feelings, works as a concept until you realize they don't care about the facts, and it is their feelings that they get upset about. Scribbling Nevermore. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with his friend. Let's continue watching.
Turns into a very dangerous combination.
A QAnon follower blocked the Hoover Dam with an armored vehicle.
A far-right conspiracy theorist was planning a kidnapping in Douglas County.
A 24-year-old man was charged in the shooting death of a reputed mob boss. His attorneys argued he was motivated by QAnon.
In 2019, the FBI labeled QAnon as a potential domestic terror threat after some QAnon followers started committing serious crimes in the real world. On Facebook, QAnon-related activity grew steadily for years without consequences. But then something changed.
There is a lot of evidence to suggest that the pandemic had a big effect on the growth of QAnon. The impact of people spending a lot more time indoors and being online a lot more, combined with the stress of the pandemic and the uncertainty of the future, that was a toxic combination that pushed people into QAnon.
In March, 3 leading QAnon Facebook...
What is QAnon? It's a person? It's the Q fandom. As ContraPoints pointed out last week, facts don't mean much, it's the story you try to tell with them. You're absolutely right. It's absolutely how we twist the words that we have, the ideas that we have, and are able to influence minds with them. And this is why, I push from the perspective that I push from the left. Because I want to coerce people into seeing... Like, for example, if we bring up the social housing issue, a friend of mine says to me, there's upsides and downsides. It's like, well, I'm going to talk about the upsides because the upsides, in my opinion, are far more beneficial. So the story I want to tell is about the upsides of social housing. As an example.
Groups saw their membership rise from under 50,000 to over 300,000. By August, an internal investigation at Facebook reviewed by NBC found that a number of QAnon groups and pages had more than 3 million followers. On August 19th, Facebook announced that it would be banning hundreds of QAnon pages and groups. And after that, traffic for QAnon phrases and hashtags fell.
I'll keep an eye on that link, Rogue. Thanks. I'll scroll back up if I lose it. Unfortunately, you have right-wing aunties who think schools are brainwashing children, brainwashing their childs, and they listen to QAnon Weekly. Oh, good God. Really easy to see how you go from feeling emotionally empty due to the pandemic to clicking on a video that says The Secrets. Yeah, exactly. It sucks, but it's really fucking... there's absolutely a motivating factor for why you call yourself Story Girl. Helping people understand story and narrative also helps them be better at deconstructing everything they see and hear more critically. I tend to talk about this a lot. Media interpretation. The way that we, especially in fiction. I love talking about the interpretation of the things that we watch, the things we read, the music we listen to. We have different interpretations and we can consume the same thing and have totally different outcomes on it. Totally different overviews of it. And some of those viewpoints can be skewed by the things we watch, by the things we consume. The stories we are told and the stories we tell.
But membership in groups posing as anti-child trafficking groups exploded. And in those groups, users were still largely spreading QAnon content. QAnon followers had simply pivoted to a new hashtag to improve their image, one that was already being used for a fundraising campaign by a UK-based charity. Save the Children.
I suppose for someone like me who's kind of been covering QAnon for the past number of years.
I don't know how you pronounce her first name, but for anyone who's wondering, that's her name. Does anyone know how to pronounce that? I know how to pronounce Gallagher. Aoife? Is that Sophie? Is that pronounced Sophie? I've seen several Gaelic names, and some of them have had Aoife. Okay, that's better. I've seen several Gaelic names in my time, and then Saoirse is one of them. It's spelled Saoirse, and somehow you're supposed to get Saoirse from that. Siobhan as well, yes.
The past 6 months have kind of been...
Gorgeous names, by the way. Hang on a moment before we go on. Not original Bionicles. What is the origin of my name? Hebrew. I chose a Hebrew name. That would make sense. Abigail Shapiro. I guess I'm Hebrew now.
It's kind of been like watching a tsunami
Just
in slow motion.
Save
the Children is, as I say, it's a simple rebrand of QAnon. It's a very simple and effective message to bring the QAnon movement to a wider audience. Who doesn't want to save children?
That is very true.
It's hard to accurately...
Again, the whole thing. Label your opponent a pedophile, and it's easier to make a target out of them.
Trace how the Save the Children
in this case, though, like was mentioned before, it's secret cabal of satanic pet. They don't actually have a specific target. They're making it up. Is the crucial thing. The thing that we haven't really touched on, or it sort of has been touched on earlier on in the video. It's like they don't actually have a target. They're making it up. And then they're just saying these people are associated with the pedophile Satanist cult.
From these QAnon Facebook groups to mainstream accounts.
Not just that, but if you say you're generically fighting pedophiles, it's easier to bring people in. Exactly. Then you start selling the crazy stuff.
On Instagram. But by July, high-profile accounts like model Helen Owen and the Real Housewives of Orange County's Kelly Dodd boosted the hashtag with inaccurate or misleading statistics. This coincided with the United Nations Human Trafficking Awareness Day. Other accounts put together slideshow-style infographics, like these.
And these are all packaged up in very pretty...
Wait the fuck up. Fighting pedophilia is more important than fighting racism. They're really mask off, aren't they? They're really... These people... Like I was watching Riley Grace Rochong's video on Stone Toss today. I had been putting that off for the past 2 weeks. I finally got around to watching it. Where she talks about how he... tweeted words to the effect of you shouldn't criticize somebody just because they're a Nazi or something like that, and he deleted that tweet. It's really, good God, man. It's like you're conflating two significant issues with the world. That this is an apples to oranges thing. Why not fight both? Because they want to make it. They want to associate the people who are anti-racist with this shit.
and these are all packaged up in very pretty posts that are, essentially they're very
Fighting
easily
pedos is more
digestible,
important than voting
especially to
Democrat.
people that are not familiar with QAnon.
The colors are a lot softer.
Easily.
These.
And these are all packaged up in very pretty posts that are, essentially they're very easily digestible, especially to people that are not familiar with QAnon.
The colors are a lot softer. There's a lot of pastels, and it's very pretty and nice. And if you look at it without reading the words, you would think it would be just any other kind of yoga-inspired, Instagram post.
And so the move to Instagram kind of brought, it brought QAnon to this kind of lifestyle influencer circle, really. And many of these influencers already have very high followings, and
I don't know if they're going to touch on this later in the video, but I want to get this out of the way now. A thing that stood out to me about that dude wearing the crazy headdress at the Capitol riots, when they were storming the Capitol, that guy, he was arrested and he was sent to jail, of course. I don't know what the situation is now. We'll come back to the 14 words thing, because I did read that before, but I forgot to read it out. And Jamiroquai, we heard the story that his mother was reporting to the news that he hadn't eaten since he'd been arrested because they wouldn't serve him organic food. And then we go back to the Pete Evans thing, the neo-Nazi Pete Evans, celebrity chef here in Australia. Again, posts a Nazi meme on social media, absolutely dog whistling to every other 1488 that follows him. And it occurs to me that the people who are deeply entrenched in this whole clean eating, organic eating, keto, all the caveman diet, all of these things, it's really bizarre how many of the people associated with that particular aspect of diet culture are neo-Nazis.
To the Rogue Room.
You hate furries.
Enjoy your stay.
222. Why do you hate furries? The implicit takeaway from fighting pedophiles is more important than fighting racism is that they're only trying to assure a future for white children.
Stay.
Trans Ferdinand, I love that name. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Mr. Goth as well. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Both of you in the Rogue Room.
Hope you enjoy your stay.
Hope you're having a good one. So yeah, the implicit takeaway from fighting pedophiles is more important than fighting racism is that they're only trying to assure a future for white children, which again, straight to 14 words, which is ironic considering, as far as I'm aware, the vast majority of child trafficking in the world is POC children, not white children. But yes, you're absolutely right. It's like everything that the alt-right, everything that the right wing, realistically speaking, is about preserving the future for white children. The right wing is about preserving the future for white children, the white race. Or at least in the Western world. Right-wing politics in other countries are an entire other issue that I cannot speak to, and I won't unless I have a deeper understanding of it. Greetings and salutations, Void Entity. How you doing? Best wishes from this wandering envy. I hope you're well. More racist dumbassery. We're talking about QAnon. We've had a really bizarre shift in I haven't even gotten into any of the stuff I wrote notes for. Should I even bother writing notes since you guys want to just control the conversation? I like it. It's fun. The ongoing supremacy of the Anglo-European hegemony. Exactly. You're off. Gonna get some sleep, Azera. Have a lovely, lovely rest. I hope to see you again real soon. Keep fighting the good fight. I will. Transliberation now and all of that good stuff. QAnon, yeah, the Instagram aesthetic that made QAnon mainstream. This video is talking about how the QAnon conspiracy theory that suggests there's Q, the letter Q, and then anon. I'm only just really starting to unpack what QAnon is. I've been curious about it for a while, so we might do a bit more research on this. And let me just do this. Let me just give you your poll right here. Hot wings, overrated or nah? Nah, I enjoy them. They're pretty good. You're well, I'm glad to hear it. So yeah, what the situation is it's a right-wing movement. It's an alt-right movement that suggests that I think the left is controlled. Like the idea is there is an elite. Listen to this, okay? Unpack this, if you will, in your head. The theory of QAnon is that there is an elite, satanic, pedophile cult that controls the world. Anyway, I bet you they think they're Jewish as well.
Already have a dedicated audience that will, very much
listen
to what they have to say.
Accounts that might otherwise be getting
especially given, Army Hammer is not really in the elite. He's Hollywood elite, I think. He might come from a nice family or whatever. When I say nice, I mean rich family, let's be honest. Armie Hammer was recently revealed to be a bit of a cannibal, so I mean, it's not that much of a stretch.
A few hundred likes on posts found themselves getting tens of thousands of likes as soon as they started posting about Save the Children.
A lot of people who get into QAnon, especially if they're struggling influencers, they notice that these QAnon themes, they're like an internet cheat code because they attract people who are very engaged. They spend a lot of time online. And if you start promoting QAnon themes, you start noticing that you're getting...
This is what pisses me the fuck off. I don't know, me either. Me neither. Welcome in. How you doing? How's it going? This is what annoys the hell out of me, is movements like this. This is why there's a streamer that I fucking hate. There is a streamer that I absolutely fucking hate, and it's because she built a platform here on Twitch. A generally accepting, open, welcoming place. She was well known in the streamer community for a good long while there until late 2020 when she outed herself as voting for Donald Trump and believing in right-wing ideologies. Hot wings are not overrated. Agreed. There we go. And her entire content shifted to that alt-right ideology, and it's fucking working for her, and I fucking hate her for it. I'm not going to name drop her. I'm not going to give her the benefit of that. We don't need to reference her by name. Those who know. But she cultivated a community that was generally built around acceptance and welcoming people in and all of that and being charismatic and, you know, overall good vibes originally. But then she saw the opportunity to latch onto alt-right ideas to build an audience. Is she a megaboss? I don't think so. Yeah, I'd honestly rather not know as well. I think I've blocked her on all social media. But it's very, very clear that, and here's the thing, she was like a low tier, not even bigger streamer. Like there's a group of streamers on Twitter, you'll notice, who have got around 10 to 20,000 followers on Twitter, roughly, generally speaking, or 5 to 30-ish, that kind of range. So they've got influence in the streamer community, and they are well known in the streamer community, but they're not big. They're not super famous. I don't think she's even partnered on Twitch. I think her average views on Twitch are not that big, but she's moved mostly over to YouTube, where she's getting tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of views on her videos about this alt-right shit. And it's clear, like you've said, she's clout chasing. She's latched onto the alt-right ideology because the numbers are there and thus the money is there. This is a very easy market, and this is why I buck against this trend so fucking hard. I refuse, with every fiber of integrity in my being, I refuse to be one of these people. I refuse to be one of these people that will latch on to ideas that are going to get me clout and thus get me fame and get me money. I would rather be a starving, struggling artist trying to spread good information than sell out to an ideology for the numbers, like you've said, Rogue 5. And I absolutely detest this person with every fiber of my being. I hate them. And I would not want to speak to them. I would rather forget they exist. Much milder variant of what you're talking about, but you stumbled across LGBTQIA plus streamers who've got some very bigoted attitudes towards people in that community. Exactly. There are a number of those. You've got the people who are trans exclusionary. You've got the people who are biphobic. You've got people who don't think non-binary folks are valid. You've got people who think asexuality is not real. Like there's a whole, like it's really weird, the segmentation of the queer community. This is a space for every queer person and every person who is logically and reasonably sound, at the very least, welcome. You know, realistically speaking, I want everyone to be welcome here. I want every person to be welcome here and to join in the conversation and have a good time of it. Unfortunately, the majority of the world are happy to sell out, and that is the problem, is this... Everything comes back to capitalism. At the end of the day, given that we are in a society that is so deeply entrenched in capitalism, a lot of people will just latch onto the idea of, I need to make money by any means necessary. And as a result, they will throw away their integrity, throw caution to the wind, forget it. Who needs integrity when I could have money? I could have the ability to buy all those nice things. My lighting setup that I would love to just deck my room out in lights, I could sell out tomorrow. I'm not going to, because I have a lot to stand for, honestly. A lot of stuff that I've stayed quiet on for the longest time. Like I mentioned before, the privilege of being politically averse in discussion. I used to have that. I used to be that person who was like, I don't want to discuss politics. I don't care about it. Nowadays, it's all I fucking think about. Because these issues are stupidly important. Nothing but truth since you stumbled in. Well, I'm glad you came here too, Trans Ferdinand. I still love your name. It's fantastic. Always love acephobia because, yeah, like everyone is literally fucking in public or something. I gotta say, I saw a couple in the gym today. She's curvy as fuck. Fat tits, fat ass, skinny waist, very lean, you know. And he is an absolute vascular muscle hunk. And they just strike me immediately as the kind of people who are just, when they're out of the gym, they're doing nothing but fucking. And steroid abusing, filled with silicone, vapid cunts. Kind of surprised about Philosophy Tube's note on how many far-right people get a crisis of conscience when something bad happens, but they've built their career on feeding the crowd another piece of meat. Yeah, which video is that? Katie Hopkins. Hang on, where's Katie Hopkins? Mentality of people like Gun Girl, yeah. They don't mind being mocked for the fame. Exactly. Like, Ben Shabibo. Ben Shababy. Ben Shapiro. He knows he's stupid. He knows he's a fucking idiot. And I guarantee you the streamer I mentioned before realizes the majority of streamers fucking hate her guts. Realizes that the streaming audience that she used to have hates her fucking guts. She doesn't care because she's got a bigger audience. She's got more money now. And that's exactly what happens. And I would love to reach the level of people like ContraPoints and Philosophy Tube where they have managed to build a career. Jim, James, Stephanie fucking Sterling's son. Where they have built a successful career on espousing the right ideas of the left. Leftist ideas. I would love to reach that point of being able to say, no, fuck your stupid system. That says the only way you're going to get any success is if you bend the fucking knee to an inherently fascistic capitalistic regime. I refuse. I absolutely refuse. And that is why I am trans, I guess. That's my trans coming out story. And in turn, their material success might reinforce their problematic worldview so they don't view themselves as grifters anymore. Exactly. Surprised about philosophy. Oh, we already read that philosophy tube thing. Capitalism is simply neo-feudalism, slightly less physically violent, but ultimately no less harmful if you're a have-not. The issue, the neo-feudalism thing, is like the spread of ideologies. The people like Isaac Butterfield and Joe Rogan who'd say, oh, you can joke about anything, is that those jokes, of course, get stuck in people's heads, and then someone commits a hate crime because they said, oh, attack helicopters. That's what happens. In the eyes of the person who doesn't believe non-binary and asexuality isn't real, do you exist twice over, or does it like cancel each other out? What? Do you not exist twice over? Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. I get what you mean. So you're an ace envy. I get it. For a moment, I was like, wait, hang on. What do you mean? You just wish people would stop treating political parties like sports teams. Agreed. Absolutely. That's another thing. You have a potentially rude question, but it comes from a genuine place. You just don't have any trans friend to ask. That's fine. Go ahead, Kermit. Go ahead. Absolutely. This is some good content we're going through tonight. It's not TMI or personal. Good stuff. I'm excitable. I've had 4 coffees today. Is the term bussy offensive? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. You know what? I'm going to give you a free poll redeem for that one. Let's let chat decide. There we go. Is the term bussy... Oh, I didn't put the IDK option. Fuck. It's a yes or no. You have to decide. It is a binary poll. I think it's supposed to be like boy pussy. Hello, Evo. Shit's getting weird. Abby. That's my name. Don't wear it out. What's up? It's binary. Yeah, it's binary. I'm enforcing horrible norms. Flabby Abby. Not anymore. Well, after the past couple of days, I've had a bit too much food, so I'm trimming my calorie count down to, as of today, 1,600, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with 1,600. Sorry. This is my 4th coffee today. Let's get that out of the way right now. I'm on my 4th coffee, for the record, and I'm tracking everything in MyFitnessPal for anyone who's out of the loop. Yeah, I've eaten 1,500 calories today. I have burned 343 at least on bike. And in terms of other stuff, I don't know. So we've got 11 no's. 0 yeses. Flabby Abby, no. Flabby Sammy, yes. My goal, okay, I got a friend. I'm not going to show you a picture of her. Fuck, though. Fiona, I know you're not watching, but darling, oh, you are goals. She's so gorgeous. Oh, we got 1 yes! And she sometimes sends me snaps of her midsection after a workout. So fucking lean. Oh my god. Like, I just want to touch her belly because it's just so lean. Like, it's a good midsection is one of the few things that gets me going. Too much pasta is unhealthy, true. I do want to eat some pasta again, though. I haven't had pasta in a while. Voted yes because you like to be a contrarian. Also, if it's meant to be boy pussy, then yeah, it's shit, don't use it that way. Context can be important, true. A local council over here in the UK tried to get kids interested in public transport with a character named Bussy. Fuck. Oh, fuck, that's good. What up, Three Bears? How's it going? What about Bunt? Should we finish watching this video? Because we've got another one to go through after this. Let's get into the QAnon thing. The Instagram aesthetic that made QAnon mainstream. Let's continue. Because fuck, dude.
A lot more likes and shares. That could be a big incentive to keep doing it.
Perhaps the most damaging part of the Save the Children movement is how inaccurate information is making it harder to fight actual trafficking. One of these most often cited statistics is that 800,000 children go missing every year in the US. That number comes from a 2002 survey that asked parents if they had reported their children as runaways sometime in the previous year. 797,500 said that they had, though 2019 FBI data puts that number closer to 421,000. Roughly half of those reports are related to custody disputes, and the rest mostly relate to runaways. But even then, that number refers to children who are reported missing by their parents, the vast majority of whom, over 99%, return home within hours or days. In that 2002 study, only 115 were considered stereotypical kidnappings.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. Spooky Owoo. How you doing? Wrong camera. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us.
There's no reliable data on how many people are trafficked in the US each year, but stereotypical kidnappings aren't what trafficking usually looks like. Instead, it often takes the form of forced labor or wage theft.
Because this is what they do. Like, this is the exact kind of thing that they do all of the time, right? This is exactly the kind of movement that these people are trying to build. They want to use certain statistics. They only want to use the numbers that benefit the idea they're trying to sell you. If they use a bigger number, it's scarier. It's the same thing with the, like, for example, the trans suicide rates argument. The people who are always like, oh, can't wait to see you become another statistic or something like that. Oh, 60% of trans people attempt or commit suicide or whatever it is. Not at all considering the fact that the explicit reason as defined by scientific study is that trans people kill themselves because of social pressure, for example. So, and this is exactly what they do, is they cherry pick statistics, like you said, Draco, to make their argument seem stronger. Whenever someone throws a study, you're like, show me the study. Too many years of marketing research, you don't trust stats because you can use them to say anything. Exactly. You misrepresent the statistics to sell your argument.
In agriculture, domestic work,
Scientologists use that a lot, true.
And the people most at risk are those already vulnerable, youth experience. Instead, it often takes a year. But stereotypical kidnappings aren't what trafficking usually looks like. Instead, it often takes the form of forced labor or wage theft, most commonly in agriculture, domestic work, or sex work. And the people most at risk are those already vulnerable, youth experiencing homelessness, in foster care or unstable housing, LGBTQ+ youth who have been kicked out of their homes, or migrant young people.
Most people kind of have this idea in their head that it's, children being lifted off the streets and been shipped overseas, and, although that does happen, it doesn't happen at all to the extent that QAnon followers believe that it does.
But the hysteria caused by distorted numbers has led to a deluge of calls and outreach from concerned...
Oh my god, the Wayfair thing. God, I almost forgot about that. You guys remember when the Wayfair furniture company or warehouse, whatever they were, people were suspecting that they were selling wardrobes and shelving units or whatever, cupboards, that had the names of kidnapped children on them. So the pricing of these furniture pieces was so high that people were like, this website is selling these pieces of furniture, but what's actually happening is they're selling kidnapped children. That was the conspiracy theory.
QAnon followers, and it's overwhelming the organizations fighting actual child trafficking.
And that's very damaging because it made it harder for people with real information about possible human trafficking victims to get through. And so we've seen this actually repeatedly, the ways in which the misinformation that this kind of save the children style of QAnon is promoting damages real efforts to actually help children.
You won't find any searchable hashtags with typical QAnon language on Instagram anymore. But because Save the Children isn't an inherently harmful tagline, moderating it has proven particularly difficult. And tackling misinformation on Instagram can be harder than on Facebook, since it's harder to train an algorithm to recognize misleading text in slideshow images than it is to recognize text in Facebook posts or comments.
Really? I would think, I'm sure that there is software that can read text on images. Like, that strikes me as really odd that an algorithm can't figure that out. Are you a hypocrite for watching Donut Operator? I don't even know what Donut Operator is. There's a reason Capture are that. Yeah, exactly. I suppose. But, like, these are just standard images. Jello, what's up, Coco? How you doing? Former cop. Oh, I think you told me about them. No, I don't think so. To be fair, both sides are guilty misrepresenting studies to suit their story. It's just 0% of the time the left isn't trying to murder. Yeah, exactly. Like, if we misrepresent statistics on the left, we're doing so because of a progressivist ideology. If conservatives are misrepresenting stats, they're doing so because of a regressivist ideology. I mean, videos when they say an algorithm that can't read slideshows. Maybe they do. Maybe that's what it is. But I think that just means we need to work. It's really weird, with how intelligent algorithms are these days. You would think they would be able to develop one that can actually read these things. There's a good cop that never killed anyone or anything like that. Tried to show all the cops who support BLM. Tumblr couldn't tell potatoes apart from nudity. True. Hydration time, thank you. Man, Tumblr fell fucking hard, dude. As far as I know, Philosophy Tube was actually memeing about her transition on Tumblr, but nobody looks at Tumblr, so it's like...
Comments.
The belief in QAnon definitely falls along a spectrum. I don't think you can say that everyone that was at a Save the Children rally believes that Hillary Clinton needs children. It's the hysteria. It's the hysteria that grows and grows and grows as you're going down.
Hillary Clinton needs children.
That could more than likely eventually lead to you thinking that Hillary Clinton needs children.
QAnon has really struck on something
That's such
clever.
A weird statement. I mean, would it surprise me if the political and economic elite do literally eat children? No, it would not shock me at all, but it's such a strange remark to make. As in, probably eats eggs like other people. Or maybe she eats lamb, Someone still uses Tumblr and sex is still there too, just not as much.
In that people get confused in their own way, and they fall down their own individual rabbit holes that radicalize them according to their own personality type.
There are now more than 20 candidates for Congress who have expressed support for QAnon. The real danger is that people don't need to believe, or even be aware of, the entirety of a conspiracy theory for it to start influencing their decisions.
There we go. There is Vox's video on the Instagram aesthetic that made cannibalism. I read your comment at the same time. Cannibalism mainstream! That made QAnon mainstream, sorry. Cannibal women dispense their own... Fucking Christ. Oh, good lord. There we go. It's one of the largest problems with social media. We have created a world where any word, no matter how positive it might be, can turn into a house of shitty ideas, and there is no way to actually stop that. Exactly. You were right. Content is a problem, and there is entirely too much of it. Think of how many billions of hours, literally billions of hours of footage are uploaded to YouTube every single day. And you begin to realize just how easy it is for groups of people. I think it's billions of hours. A lot of hours of video is uploaded to YouTube every single day. And what was I going to say? I forget. Some of those, can manipulate the algorithm to reach a lot of eyeballs, of course. Porn on YouTube can be easy to find if you just looked up naked yoga. I'm not going to do that, but I know. It's important to recycle. It is. It is important to recycle because I got $1.80 out of recycling today. Out of the machines you put the bottles and the cans in. It actually spat one back out at me. It's like, this one's not recyclable. And then I looked at it. It's like, yes, it is. Have I played Democratic Socialism Simulator? I have not. I'll have to give it a look.
Welcome to the Rogue Room.
Welcome to the Rogue Room, Void Entity, by the way.
Enjoy your stay.
Sit down and grab a drink and chill with us, like you have been, friend. No, I didn't eat my children. Will I watch the Netherlands vid? Yes, let's look at the Netherlands video. Since we did that one, I'm going to need to find it again now. It was in here. We've been talking, dude. We've been going off. Where is it? Not inspect. I don't want to inspect chat. No, that's Hot Wings. I swear I saved the link. Does anyone have the link to the Netherlands video? Fucking Christ, mate. I swear it was like... I swear it was after some of this conversation. Here we go. People started writing hardcore because you couldn't go out after 9 p.m. without a special paper. Okay. Let's have a look at this in a moment. Yes, let's watch Democratic Socialism Simulator. Also, I've noticed, you know, if you're generally speaking, if you see a country with the phrase democratic in the title, they are not. Democratic People's Republic of Korea, anyone? Democratic Socialism Simulator, I believe, just based on the art style, I think I might have seen this before.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
Oh god, I don't like that.
Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever.
Enact radical reforms. Nobody should make money from incarcerating people. Reduce emissions. I don't know what this song is. It's kind of not nice to listen to. Farmers got heaps of land with little help we can grow energy alongside crops. Tax the rich. Tax orders for the rich have been steadily declining while it's being increased. Transform the economy. The Amazon workers are occupying warehouses now. These hooligans are wrecking the whole economy. We demand living wages. Capital strikes. Climate crisis. Endless dilemmas. The most timely game of 2020. Democratic Socialism Simulator. We'll give it a crack at some point, I reckon. If it's free. Looks cute. I do not like that music though. If that's the kind of soundtrack you'd have to listen to the entire game, I would mute the fucking game. Sounds like your jam. Well, there you go. Democratic Socialism Simulator. We'll have to get Mike to stream it at some point. It's the only game that's actually talking the real shit. Like political video games. It isn't free. Aww. $4.50, that's easy. Well, once I have money. I've figured out that the remainder of the cash I've got on my card. Oh, it's free on iPhone, there you go. The remainder of the cash I've got on my card has to go to my medication because I'm just about out of my Anterone and I need that shit so that I can suppress my masculinity that I've got. Yeah, why tax? I saw that. Why tax the rich when you? Oh, you said why eat children where you can eat the rich? Why tax the rich when you can eat them? I still love that picture of like AOC. I think she was doing a cocktail mixing stream or a cooking stream or something, and she's sitting there, just got her hands over her chest, and you can see her sweatshirt just says "the rich," and you just infer "eat the rich," and then she moves her hands and says "tax the rich." If I had the cash, I would buy one, but I think they're entirely out of stock. I want an AOC sweatshirt, although it's summer. I don't really want to do the whole wearing a sweatshirt in summer thing. Although it's been a pretty cool summer, honestly. Do I like Nikita Dragon? I know that name from somewhere. Oh, the Dutch riots link. We've got the video up here. What bothers me though is what does this mean? RT is funded in whole or in part by the Russian government. Dino, can't say, just popped in to say you're beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so kindly. Mike, are you serious? That popped up on stream. Forget Mike has sent you a gift. I bet you just bought me that fucking game. Thanks so kindly, Dino. You bastard. Is she cancelled or something? She's a politician. I consider her in the same basket as Bernie Sanders. I'm again, I'm going to put this out there. I don't believe we should stan any politician, and every politician should be criticized. Like Jacinda Ardern, for example. I love Jacinda Ardern. I think she's done some amazing things. But as Lily Simpson pointed out, let me just find the tweet that she posted. We should always... Lily Simpson's, not Lily Simpson. Lily Simpson's a YouTuber that I follow, and she's great. Go follow Pop Culture Professor on YouTube. No, is that the right one? No. Got another YouTube channel. She's got 2 YouTube channels. Go follow Lily Simpson on YouTube. This is her channel. Her videos get a lot more views than mine because mine are shit. But she recently pointed out, where was it? The fact that New Zealand has been unable to ban gay conversion therapy, even though a majority of the population have wanted it banned for decades now, is a complete failure on the part of Labour and Jacinda. Exactly. So, like, we should not, just because we like the politicians that might be in power or the politicians we want to be in power, I would like to see AOC in a position that's, in an influential political position, right? I would like to see Bernie Sanders in an influential political position. Would have been great if we had President Bernie Sanders, but that's not going to happen because he's too far left. And even then, he's more like reasonably left of center. He's not even extreme left. But he is a very progressive politician. Regardless of that, you should never stop criticizing politicians. You can't let them get away with anything. And yeah, like you said, politicians sign up to be roasted. Support her while she's still fighting the good fight. Yeah. And unfortunately, there is that situation that we circle back around to, where politicians can be corrupted by the system. They can be told to twist and change their viewpoints and institute policies that negatively affect large groups of people because of the money. Naturally, that's how it works. Comes back down to that streamer I was talking about. I'm so tempted to say her fucking name and I don't want to. Don't want to give her the benefit of that. Bernie ain't great at pointing out racism. Isn't that kind of his whole thing, though? At the end of the day, it's more important the left controlling the Senate and the House rather than the presidency. And same in Australia. We've got a very right-wing government, and we need more left. Like, as much as classism and racism go hand in hand. Classism and racism are very intersectional. And
welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Oh, Deca, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. I'm sorry I go silent, but I want the bot to just get the message out. Again, I'm going to change the alert for that so it's very punchy. Yeah, he was very active in the 60s racial rights movement. Like, his whole thing has always been fighting racism. It's just that classism and racism, go hand in hand, by and large. And fighting against classism is a fight against racism, against institutional racism, at its very core. Where were we? I've turned off... we've lost our music, by the way. Let me turn that back on. We'll watch this video in a moment. Where were we? They're not our friends, lovers, or pals exactly. Deflect and deny is a common strategy. Yeah. Yeah, he did get put in charge of something, but at the very least, we do know that Bernard Sanders. At the very least, what was I going to say? I've forgotten now. Oh yeah, he's not running again. That's right. After this recent election, he's not running again. But you're right. Why have there been so many older presidents, Chessa? It's really, it's kind of going backwards. After Obama was such a young president. He was only in his 40s, I think, when he got elected, his late 40s. And realistically speaking, we should be pushing for more and more younger candidates. We don't need people who are like Joe Biden and Donald Trump who are in their literal 70s. We do not need people that old making significant political decisions when, it's very likely that their brains are not functioning at full capacity. As much as I don't want to be ageist, that's the reality of the situation. Elderly candidates are not the best, even though everything I've seen of Bernie Sanders he's very on the ball, but again, he was born in 1941. He's 80 years old. Or he's going to be in September. And yeah, I think the health concern of very elderly presidents is a genuine, legitimate thing. We should be concerned. And we should be, and at least here in Australia, it seems like our prime ministers are generally pretty young. Radio broken, sounds good. People like Trump are really not progressive and actually, it's called regressivism. That's why the whole point of conservatism is trying to preserve a an ideal 1950s aesthetic. That's the whole thing of the conservative movement in America, is they want to preserve this idea of like the way that we romanticize the 1980s. You know, Stranger Things? They show off all the glitz and glamour of the 1980s, but none of the absolutely horrific shit that was going on during the 1980s. It's all about that 80s, you know, horror flick, 80s coming of age film kind of thing. Like, that's the whole point of Stranger Things. And that misrepresentation of what the 80s was really going through is particularly harmful to our perception of what the past was like. And that's what conservatives are doing, is they want to give you this idea of like, let's all go on down to the box social and grab ourselves an ice cream sundae and get a Coca-Cola out of the Coca-Cola machine. Got a little bottle popper on the thing, etc, etc, etc. You know, they have this idea of the 1950s that they try to sell to the majority of other conservatives. And they say, we want to bring things back to a better time. We want to bring everything back to white picket fences. Any kind of nostalgia is inherently harmful, absolutely. It's we need to move forward with every single possible thing we can. We need as much progress as humanly possible, and unfortunately, we have a significant socio-political movement designed around pushing us backwards. Unless it's fun like retro games. I mean, I agree. Gloomhaven looks fucking awesome in terms of retro-styled games, retro aesthetic games. I want more games with that PS1 aesthetic. I saw a tweet that was a video of someone demaking Bloodborne so that it looked like it was a PS1 game, and it looks fucking awesome. I want stuff like that, but, you know, one problem is a lot of countries, their school systems are not progressive enough to make the students less progressive in general. Yeah, this is the thing. I didn't learn any of this kind of stuff when I was in school or even in TAFE. It took me going to a social science course at university, which I now want to follow up with a degree in social science, before I started to start researching this stuff and actually paying attention. Le Grand Legacy. I might give that a look. Literally means pain of returning home. Nostalgia, does it? Anywho, shall we watch the riots in the Netherlands as government imposes curfew? What's this about? Problem is, as people get older, they generally move risk averse. And with an aging population, the majority of people are more often than not going to choose the option they consider the safe choice that won't rock the boat. I agree with that. This is the thing about, well, hang on, we'll come back to the COVID curfews in the Netherlands in a moment. This is the thing about conservatism. I'm going to put I've really got to get into the habit of stream markers. I don't know if I want to do this. I'm tempted to do this. I don't know if, and this is going to sound bad, I don't know if I trust anyone enough to give them editor powers. But I have been considering if there is someone that is here routinely enough that they could help me out with stream markers. And an editor can do that. If you assign an editor on your channel, they can put stream markers in, which would make life easier for me when I'm going through to do highlights after the fact. Instead, I generally speaking have to scrub through my streams looking for good points, which tonight's been good. Expect a video out of this one. I didn't do a video for last night because it was a mess. But anyway, you mentioned something else earlier, Mike. Also, Void, you can think of one particular author that shows classism and racism has always gone hand in hand. Howard Phillips Lovecraft. He was a flagrant racist, but it is... You can look at his works through that critical lens. The age thing is a trust theater. The conservative types of both parties see age as a sign of experience. Absolutely true. But the thing of not rocking the boat, right? There was a good point that I was going to make here. Let me reread your thing and see if I can jog my memory. As people get older, they are generally move risk averse, and with an aging population, the majority of people are more often than not going to choose the option they consider the safe choice that won't rock the boat. What was I going to say here? There's a common trend I've noticed among older people, generally speaking, where they will appeal to left-wing younger people, and they'll say as you get older, you'll get more conservative. The reality of the situation is not that as you get more older, you'll get more conservative. it's as you gain more income, if you actually make some significant career progress in the world, you'll become more conservative, because conservatism is all about protecting what you've got. Conservatism is all about preserving everything that you think you've worked for and earned. And as a result, people turn conservative because they want to stop anyone from taking that away from them. The more money you have, the less you're willing to give. Exactly. Lovecraft. I've got to read some of his books, actually. I only know vague bits and pieces about the mythos. Once you get comfy, you get less interested in the fight, and this is not what I intend on at all. This is the one thing, for the first time in my life, this kind of shit is a passion for me. It's so strange to actually feel impassioned about something, but this particular kind of thing, this political drive, feels distinctly passionate to me now. I want to keep fighting for this. I want to keep fighting for things to be better for people. If I could get into politics, one of my major policies would be socialized housing, which I was going to talk about tonight. There's a good Gravel Institute video on socialized housing that I think we should watch. Lovecraft has a fascinating mythos, but a lot of it is entrenched in his racist views. And I'm not forgiving him for that, but it is important to note that he was a very poor man, and those were the views of the time. And of course, you can enjoy his work and separate art from artist because of the fact that he's long dead. He's not going to make money off it, unlike any time something Harry Potter affiliated comes up and everyone gets super excited. Joanne is directly benefiting from every single Harry Potter related thing that is released. And I hope against all hope that people would distinctly stop supporting anything that's put out with the Harry Potter brand on it. The Hogwarts brand on it, any of it. Just please, for the love of God, don't give that bitch any more money. Lovecraft Country. Is it country or county? I think it's maybe it is country. I don't know. I did see a trailer for it though. You're so outspoken and beautiful. Thank you so much. You win the lottery jackpot, you'll put 70% to charity, 10% to your own personal stuff, 20% to investment to have a stable income, and continue to give to charity. That would be the plan, yes. Make sure you research the charities at the very least. More money you have, the more urge that you have to give up your money anyway. I definitely think there would be a point. For me, it's like, I would like to make enough to be comfortable. And I know what my comfortable level is. I would like to have enough space that I can have maybe a bedroom and an office separately, a room for each of my children, a living area, a kitchen, a nice backyard entertaining area sort of thing, and a laundry, bathroom, obviously. And then, one nice car, like one decent car, garage space, which I would probably turn into a home gym, if we're honest with ourselves. I know what my level of comfort is, and I don't need any more than that. I would like to make enough money that I can reach that level of comfort, and then maybe have a room for your grenade launcher, if you would like to, yes. Everything beyond that is just gravy, whatever. I'll probably, if I had excess income, I'd probably buy more lights. At some point, WB is going to have to pay her a shitload of money to buy the rights and make her shut the fuck up. Maybe, yeah. Why would she? She wouldn't sell it. She would never sell. It would take her dying for her to lose the license, and I bet you the rolling. What's the phrase I'm looking for? The rolling, not dynasty, but that sort of thing. Estate, that's it. The rolling estate is going to keep the rights. Also, and yet there are also people that think there should be more God in government, but they don't support social programs. Religion is built on hypocrisy. Religion is built on interpretation and manipulation. U.S. Republicanism ostensibly believes that the rich will redistribute the money, which a minority do, but are still BS wasps. Absolutely.
Hope you enjoy your stay.
Welcome to the Rogue Room, Vicky XO. I hope you are having a good one. Sit down, chill out, and grab a drink, and chill out with us. I'm trying to make that the slogan for new followers. I'm working on it. It's going okay. All right. I'll get there. I'll memorize it. I don't know why I decided sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us is my thing, but I guess I sort of went with the aesthetic that the Rogue Room is a chill out and grab a glass of wine zone, even though I infrequently drink wine on here. Do I need to become an alcoholic? I actually almost did go and buy alcohol today. I couldn't afford it. Subs come sit on our cum-stained sofa. Shut up! I actually, nearly did spend money I don't have on like a $5 bottle of Moscato, but then I thought, I don't want to get carded because I don't want to get carded. And I have been routinely lately. It's really awkward when you're out there wearing a dress and a headband and makeup and they go, "Can I see your ID?" I'm like, rather you didn't. Hopefully I can change the photo on it soon. Wine is the superior beverage, or at least the cheapest. I get sweet Moscatos. That's it. And rosés. I am a really basic bitch when it comes to alcohol.
Welcome
and I'm supposed to do
Rogue
cocktails
Room.
with...
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Dingo soon, Calgar. Seabase2244, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with his friend. How you doing? The thing about the redistributed wealth thing is most rich people that only do it if they get recognized for it, so to them it's still all about them, not about the cause. Exactly. This is why I hate basic bitches, best bitches. This is why I honestly, genuinely dislike when I see people like Mr. Beast go and say, "Oh, I'm going to donate thousands and thousands of dollars to streamers." It's like, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. You're doing it because you know you'll get more money after the fact. You greedy fuck. Like, I hate that shit so much. Somebody has recently been posting on the Facebook groups that I generally post to when I go live. And I post discussions on most of these Facebook groups. And they posted a very similar styled video. And I'm just like, you're just doing this for attention. And I fucking can't stand it. I cannot fucking stand it. As much as I like having income, as much as I like it when people subscribe and all of that, like when you know certain people are doing it just to get attention to themselves. Like, oh, look at me, I'm so generous, I gave it. Like when you see those videos of people going out on the streets and handing homeless people $20 bills or whatever. It's just like they're doing that so that they can get the recognition for it. It's greed. It's selfishness. You're raised in a progressive household in a conservative area, and interestingly, we were one of the poorest families in the area, but one thing you notice growing up is sometimes the brokest people are the most backwards politically. They'll want to blame anyone else for their misfortune, generally immigrants, people of color. Agreed. That's an unfortunate side effect of the system, and quite frankly, we need to show poor regressivist types the most empathy. We need to try to sway them to our side, so that they can understand that the systems that are putting them in those circumstances. Symptoms was going to be relevant, but I can't really insert it into the sentence now. We need to educate those people in particular, like the systems that are treating you so poorly. The reason you have so many problems are not because of people of color, not because of immigrants, not because of the trans and the gays. It's none of that shit. It's a capitalistic and almost monarchy that is repressing people and kids. There's actually a video I wouldn't mind watching. I've got it in my watch list. We'll come back to riots in the Netherlands about the curfew. That's my dashboard. I don't want that. Let me just bring up my watch list really quickly. Watch later list. No, don't play cancelled. Watch later. There's a video called "You Can't Escape Poverty." No, you can't escape poverty that I wouldn't mind watching. Not monarchy. It's not the right word for it. But anyway. Or streamers that are like, I want to hit 1K for more followers this year, instead of saying things like, I want to meet more people this year. Exactly. I hate follower goals. I hate the concept of follower goals. They're stupid. Oligarchy, it's probably a better word for it. Because they are indicative of somebody who just wants bigger numbers. That's all they care about. And yeah, I do. I'm trying to watch the diets for not the diets. That's a whole other discussion. We could do 3 hours on diet culture, believe me. The Dutch riots for like 30 minutes, but the topic keeps changing. It's great, I love it. At least the Queen flaunts and acknowledges her privileges, she does. I still think we should chop her head off, though. A government has the power to enforce it rather than relying on the goodwill of individuals. Yeah, I strongly dislike when people post their follower goals. I strongly dislike it because it's just... I have nearly 2.8 thousand followers on Twitch, and I stopped setting follower goals after like 500, I think it was, or 1,000. And the reason I stopped was because I realized, I was just playing Minecraft. I was just, by the way, if you want to help, if we want to reach a follower goal, I'll be at 2,800 if we get 5 more followers. But yeah, they're a way of maximizing value than happiness. And I have noticed a ton of people have got lots and lots of followers, but very few viewers. And that was a problem I had with Minecraft. I would routinely get tons and tons of followers from Minecraft, but I wouldn't get that many returning viewers. My viewership would stagnate. And the important thing is, I want to reach a broader audience. The number I want to increase is my average viewership, so we can spread this message further. So we can spread this idea further and change fucking minds. And that's why I want to do a sociology degree. That has been the introduction to the stream. We got 36 more hours of great content for you coming right up. Totally Real Human. Follow age. 1 year. 10 months. You're nearly at 24 months of following. Fox, you're nearly at, 18 months? Almost. Almost at a year and a half and almost at 2 years. Fucking awesome, dudes. You guys have been supporting me for so long. And Mike, with the 14... I don't have stream labels up. I'm an idiot. It's on cooldown. You've been following me for 4 days and 1 hour. That doesn't sound right. What? Oh, no, yeah, you did, didn't you? Also, I think... Mike, I think you were actually... You might have been briefly sub 54. Oh, no, actually, no, because you renewed, so it doesn't count as a new sub. Botwick is not accurate. Botwick's a dumb shit. 2 days and 20... Yeah, what? Botwick's broken. Anyway, hence the kappa. You're here because I'm a good person. I appreciate that so much. I do it like We'll do the riots in the Netherlands as government imposes curfew in a moment, okay? I promise.
The Rogue Room appreciates your recommendation.
Gaming, thank you so kindly for the host, mate. I wanna put this out there as stream marker, so I don't forget. This could be a very emotional video that I could make to really like leech the views on emotional bullshit, empathy. I cannot express how much it means to me that all of you have been so incredibly supportive of not only my transition, but my shift in content and my shift in identity and my change towards a better me, honestly. I have been going through such an identity adventure. I have been learning so much, not only about myself, but about the things that surround me. The things that have always been there, sort of just out of sight. Hey Sienna, how you doing? We're getting deep at the moment. I've begun to realize and I've begun to come to terms with just how bad I was before and just how much better I want to be now. Just how much I want to improve the world in what little ways I can. And it really feels like you guys have been supporting that idea as well. Do we have any... How do we not have any mods in chat right now? It isn't really nice of you. It's rather not nice of you. Why do you people keep finding new ways to spell that, by the way? Or whatever. Oh, Evo, thank you. You can be a mod. You can be a mod, 3bears. I trust you. I'd give it to Mike, but I don't think Mike wants it. But yeah, it's hard to express. Honestly, I wish I could put this into words more eloquently. I wish I had written notes. You improved my world. Thank you, Fox. I wish I could put this more eloquently, and some people have said that I'm very good at expressing my ideas, and I appreciate that so much, because I think the expression of ideas is the most crucial thing to my personality, to my identity, because in my entire life, I feel like I've always been in the background of everything. I've always felt like a secondary character in a story. Always felt like a throwaway, you know, it doesn't matter what I do. I've always just felt like I'm just existing in someone else's story. And for the first time in my life since August, like from August onwards, for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm finally defining my own story. And the amount of support that I've seen for this, the sheer fact that, like, when I posted, this is what fucking blew me away, right? A good example of the support I've received is when I first announced that I was trans. Just out of the blue, I decided to post it at 12:49 a.m. on August 27th, 2020. I had taken a 5-week sabbatical from streaming because I had, like I mentioned last year, on the day after my birthday, I had a very crucial breaking point. I was like, if you don't transition now, you're going to regret it for the rest of your life. You need to come out and you need to admit to the world who you really are. You need to tell the rest of the world who you really are. And I posted this. I already went through this on stream the other night. I don't think I want to reread it because it has my dead name in it and I feel uncomfortable reading it. And even like the names of the characters I used to play on camera give me an uneasy gender dysphoric feeling. And I posted this and I woke up and it just blew up. It didn't get thousands of likes, but I was definitely getting likes and comments from people I've never seen much interaction on my posts from before. Or at all. Like, one big name that stands out to me is honestly Luxy Games, a very notable queer streamer, liked the post, and it's like, that blew me away. And the level of support that I have received, not just from the queer community, but from all of the community altogether. You guys have just done so much for me on an emotional level. It's tremendous. It's a really good feeling. I feel like a lot of the issues I had with mental health before have seemingly dissipated. Which is weird to say, but, you know, my depression and my anxiety are significantly lessened because I know there's you guys out there. There's you folks. And you think of me, and you consider me as a real legitimate person. I finally feel like a person. I have been really emotional lately, and I'm trying the fuck to not cry. But it's been good. Okay, why did I even say it? Oh my god, you stupid twit. I'm doing this for attention, by the way. It's wonderful. I've never felt better in my entire life. I feel cured. And it doesn't ever stop either. It never stops. You know, it's every day now I wake up and I look in the mirror and I'm just like, hi Abby, how you doing? You look good today. And laser facial hair removal is fucking magic, I swear to God. It kills me for the week after the fact. It brings all the hairs out really grossly, but afterwards the results are undeniable. And that's a good feeling of gender euphoria. As a fellow person, I'm glad you feel like a person. Thank you so much, guys. You remember watching me and seeing a great person just hiding under the surface. I was definitely acting like crazy before. I was trying so hard to masquerade. I've known, like I've mentioned this a dozen times, I've known Abby's been there since I was 15. And I pushed her away, and I locked her in the back of my head, and I just said, no, if you want to fit in society, you have to be what society expects you to be, and that's a man. And I played that role for so goddamn long. And I got so goddamn good at it. And honestly, I'm going to just put this out there right now. There's a video I really want to make on this topic. And I'm not going to do it for a while. I would like it to coincide with my birthday. And I would like to talk specifically about what I have called the pursuit of masculinity. I spent my entire life trying my goddamn hardest to be the best man I possibly could. Pushing away every facet of my femininity. Hiding it in the corner and trying not to look at it. And I realize now that that was such a bad thing for me, and such a bad thing for the people who came to know me, and such a bad thing for the audience I had cultivated before, honestly. I'm more than certain I've lost certain viewers, followers, after transitioning. But the support... I don't know why I said follow. The support that I have seen afterwards is truly just... it's hard to put into words. Played the role of a straight man for 15 years, aggressively attacking any idea you might like men to. Yeah. Even now, even though I've genuinely only find women attractive, I'm now questioning my sexuality as well. And that's a whole other thing. I'll still call myself a lesbian. It feels right. It feels cozy. I like the idea of having a girlfriend to cuddle with on the bed over there. Maybe one of these days. Trans happiness is the best. It is. It truly is. I'm glad I'm in a place where I feel like me. Yeah. Yeah, yesterday fucking hit me hard. I think Abigail Shapiro coming out hit me so hard. Like a ton of bricks. I wake up and I see the news on Twitter. I'm laying there in bed and I'm just like, oh fuck. That's her. You know, the way she presented. Not Abby Shapiro. Abigail Thorne. Not Shapiro. Abigail Thorne. I said Shapiro because I'm still thinking about that fucking idiot. Her videos keep getting recommended on my fucking YouTube channel, my YouTube page, by the way. Thanks for that, guys. I watched one Abby Shapiro video. Imagine if she did transition. I did hear about Sophie, and you know what strikes me so bad about that? I didn't know anything about her until she died. Abby Shapiro. Fucking Christ, dude. This is what the infestation of the alt-right. We have our own Abigails over here on the left. I am proud to be one of them. I'm proud to be a leftist Abigail. Alongside Philosophy Tube, alongside Abigail Thorne. She's a gorgeous person. The thing that really upsets me about Sophie, as someone who knows nothing about her, you know what upsets me? She was trying to climb a wall or a fence or something to get a better look at the full moon. She was just trying to look upon the splendor of the sky, the night sky. Something that, as far as I've heard, she was deeply passionate about. You know, she loved that. She was trying to pursue something she loved in the moment, and she fell, and as a result lost her life. So dreadful. May she rest in peace. Tarot reading helped you see that hiding your true self was just hurting you. Oh, you play, oh, okay, a tarot reading helped. Okay, I see. Strangely poetic, but heartbreakingly sad it is. Life is cruel. At the very least, can I silver lining this? At the very least, she didn't die to a transphobic hate crime. Can I say that? You know, when I heard that a significant transgender person in the music industry was killed, or died, I was like, oh no. And my first thought was, oh no. So it was, yesterday was kind of like a double-edged sword thing. We get Abigail Thorne on one side of it, and we get the loss of Sophie on the other. I think I said this yesterday. It's like we got one trans sister, but we lost another. As a producer, you were like, how is someone so far in the future in the past tense? I think I understand what you mean. I've heard good things about how her music is, in terms of its pure experimentational and abstract. Oh, my stomach is grumbling. In terms of the sound she produced. Such a bittersweet weekend, yeah. Sorry to leave at this nice moment, but you can't stay awake any longer. Have a good one, human. Thank you so kindly for being here. Sounds kind of like Grimes, but isn't entirely like Grimes. Didn't Grimes used to identify as Envy, and then after ending up with Musk, that shifted? I don't know Grimes either. I'm not a music aficionado, despite the fact that I have a guitar. 2 guitars at the moment. Where's the acoustic? Oh, it's in the case. I'm gonna play guitar in my next video. And if you've enjoyed this emotional bullshit, you'll like that emotional bullshit. I am doing a very, very emotionally introspective video for my next big video. And it's gonna suck. I'm gonna admit some things I don't like about myself. And but I'm writing the script right now, and I've got ideas for what I want to do with the context. I need to add some references to other text. I've been writing from the heart. I've been writing from experience, and I need to expand on that. I need to touch on ideas that other people have written and sort of flesh it out a bit more so that the video feels more genuine. But my own experience plays a heavy role in this upcoming video. I play a little bit, but I'm not at all good I've legitimately only the last few days just been playing the main riff to Baby Did a Bad Bad Thing by Chris Isaak. The only riff. It's so easy. It sounds fucking good though. I love it. It's such a good riff. Had a tarot reading, and as they laid the cards out, it was like, this card represents transition, this one represents change, this one represents transformation. Well then, diet video? Yeah, there'll be a diet video, don't worry. I have a full slate of video ideas laid out in front of me, and we are gonna hook into them. My goal this year, we were talking goals. Do I have it listed as a LibreOffice file? I don't. But I've got a notepad. I've got a notepad file. The more you learn guitar, the more you realize, oh my god, is that riff just that? Yeah, true. I'll play it a bit. If I can. I've been practicing it, so I'm getting decent at it. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I've got the plan to release 12 videos, 1 per month for this year. Cancelled was obviously the first video. And I would like to touch on both personal topics and social topics. I'll see if I can bring up the list of things that I obviously mentioned I want to do The Pursuit of Masculinity is a video I've had written for months. I'm going to revise it, because it needs to get some updated information in there. Non-binary superpowers, how you doing? What's going on, lovely? We've been getting deep and emotional here. I'm glad I didn't actually have any tears.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Non-binary superpowers, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. It's been heavy the past 15 or so minutes, good god. I like it. Where is the video? Is it on the main channel? I've got so many dang folders. Fellow NB, oh yeah, we'll do the riots, I promise. I feel like we've got a ton of NB friends here, NB pals. Go back to writing music later in the year after you move, so if you need something, that sounds good, that sounds very good. Oh yeah, if you want to set your pronouns, I've got a command for that very thing. Where is my... That's Patreon. No, I've got the pronouns extension listed for the bot. Really convenient. It's very good. Dutch riots equals diet. Okay. Alright. Oh, there's another story I want to talk about as well. Okay, so let's have a look at the Dutch riots thing. But first, before we go on, not riot more in the Netherlands. So people should riot more so people get on a healthy diet. We'll get into diet culture. That's a video I want to do. Let me just make sure you can't see my... Okay. Yes, Philosophy Tube did come out as trans. We were just talking about that. I am regretful to inform you I called her Abby Shapiro. Abigail Thorne, who I greatly admire. Tremendous video essayist. Would you call them video essays? Bit of a silly question, hit me. You know what I hate about this? There's like one zipper right at the bottom of this. My guitar case has got 2 zippers, so I can zip it up at the top, which is way more convenient. But anyway, this is my mother's acoustic, and she never plays it. So, I wouldn't mind watching the video on stream for anyone who hasn't seen it. I was considering, actually, for my next video, I may do that for my videos. I might actually host a live viewing of my videos when I do them. So, if you guys are interested in that, February 14th, I plan on debuting my new one. So, if you want to be here for that stream, that'll be, like, I'll release the video in the morning of Valentine's Day. And, I'll do a stream at 9 PM that night, so we can all watch it together. We'll do a live watch along. Ah, fuck, I fucked it up. DMCA me, you fuckers. Can I get DMCA'd for Chris Isaak? Alright. Can you hear it? For the performance license, maybe. I was doing The Unforgiven recently by Metallica. I'm not very good at it. One of the radical NBs. I consider myself a radical leftist because I skateboard and I play guitar. So... I can't. I'm really fucking bad at this. I gotta try to mute that first note. Anyway, yeah, I'm not good at music. Just takes practice. The problem is I'm really bad at practicing things too. I suck at practice. I suck at research. Two things I desperately want to do. You can do it, anyone can. You've been doing it forever though, haven't you? How long have you been doing it? How long have you been doing music for? Should we look at the anti-lockdown protests in the nether? Can I just point out that it says, anti-lockdown protests turn violent in cities in the nether? This is actually a Minecraft video for anyone who was curious. The nether, friends. Welcome to the nether update. They really overhauled the graphics. I don't recall what these mobs are called. I believe they're called bastards. But anyway. Don't do that. I've got so many different little windows open. I've got a folder open over here. I've got non-aggression principle over here. I've got stream labels. I've got a browser window. I've got receive a gift from Mike. I'll redeem that. Add to my library. Democratic Socialism Simulator. Thank you so kindly. I didn't read the message. Fuck! I'm so bad with that. You like my makeup? Thank you. Thank you kindly. I have got eyeshadow on, but you can barely see it. I do really natural eyeshadow. But I'm enjoying doing... you can't tell. All it said was you knew this was coming. I'm really enjoying doing this thing across my nose here where it's just blush. I'm actually very tempted to do the blush thing because it looks like a bit of a sun-kissed look. You know, like I've been out in the sun, which I don't go out in the sun. I'm considering getting like an eyeliner pencil or something and doing like some freckling. Should I do some freckling? I don't have freckles. I've got moles. I've got a mole right here. Anyway. Don't mean to aim to destroy the world. You, of course, respect people's pronouns, but other than that's my pronoun, I don't agree with the idea behind neo-pronouns. Oh, I understand. Hello, by the way, Slayer. How are you doing? Sorry I missed you there. Excuse me. Goodness me. Okay. Let's get into the Netherlands. Oh, excuse me. So RT is funded or in whole or in part by the Russian government. RT TV network. There's just a notification here at the bottom of the video. You can't see it because I'm in the way. It's curious that comes up. I don't know why it does that. Russia Today, the state-controlled international television network. So keep that in mind with this video. Anti-lockdown protests turned violent in cities across the Netherlands. I'm covering up the text, sorry. Police used water cannons, horses and dogs to break up the unauthorized protests against coronavirus measures. The propaganda channel. Protesters were throwing fireworks and rocks at the officers. Clashes broke out after the Netherlands imposed a nationwide curfew for the first time since World War II. Why would you put the horses in danger, you fucking assholes? People are no longer allowed to be outside between 9 and 4:30 a.m. unless they are going to work or it is an emergency. Those exempt must carry proof or risk a fine of 95 euros. Look, there's a car on fire. City employees were clearing up the debris left in the streets, where rioters had burnt things and damaged buildings. Okay, so hang on. We have been attacked by rioters, hooligans who have smashed our facility. This is Rick Wormer, het Carmine employee. Where people with disabilities live, our clients are very shocked and scared. Onze cliënten zijn daar heel erg van geschrokken. En die zijn ook zeer bang. This is Eindhoven in the Netherlands. Look at these fucking fascists, dude. Can I just say that right now? They look like fucking bad guys. I think it's just because we generally associate... I associate authority figures. I associate authority figures with villainy. These guys look fucking diabolical. They look like the kind of people you'd shoot down in Wolfenstein, for fuck's sake. Over 240 people were arrested nationwide, according to police. Stop the lockdown. And they've got a QR code if you want to scan a QR code. Okay, there you go. News that expands views, like we mentioned here. Russia Today is a state-controlled international television network funded by the federal tax budget of the Russian government. So, you take the news you're given with a grain of salt. Markiplier. That's fucking great. Oh, that is awesome. I gotta watch some more Markiplier. Everything I've seen of him is so wholesome. He's so cool. Yeah, I fucked up my YouTube engine recommendation. You know who's not a bad person to watch though? Samantha Lux. She's lovely. Can I throw that out there? She's a lovely person. And of course Natalie. I'm in love with her. New Marine. No, that's actually Shoe on Head's outro song. I may have been listening to it a lot. Like a lot. It's a good outro song. It's a remix of Fruit. And I don't know what Charlie's GME and the end of Robin Hood. And then of course we have Identity, a Trans Coming Out story. I wouldn't mind watching that on stream with you guys if you wanted to. But it is a 37-minute video and it feels disrespectful to watch such an artistic piece, honestly. I mean, if we get short, punchy videos about the news and stuff like that, I don't mind so much. But I have watched Identity, a Trans Coming Out story by Philosophy Tube. Very, very good, especially if you've watched her older stuff. I had to stop myself there because I did accidentally dead name her last night's stream, which was really bad of me, and I really have to apologize. But very, very, very good video. Very well worth watching. Identity, a Trans Coming Out story, Philosophy Tube. So give that a crack. Schedule a group watch so she still gets the views. Yeah, could be an idea. Could do it on Discord. And also, yeah, J.K. Rowling by ContraPoints, phenomenal. It's a feature-length fucking masterpiece. I made a skating reference. I mean, you could say that. You could say that the thing that she mentions, I think, in the video or in the other video, perhaps that was meant for the media, was that she doesn't intend to remove her old videos at all. And in a sense, especially given what we are presented with in that video there, it almost feels like she's referring to her old content as being performed as an actress, playing the role of, I don't want to say the name just in case, because it feels insensitive, but that is an interesting way to look at it. You look at it as the actress portraying the role of the host, the role of the person who used to run the channel, which makes it particularly just a little bit weird, given that there's one. I know this is honestly just speaks to the notion of like, why are nipples censored? In one of her older videos, I think it's over a year old at this point. I think it might have been before she came out to her family. She's been out to her family and friends for about a year. But in one of her older videos, she's there topless. And it's very much not a feminine body. Thoughts on... I think actor can be non-gendered, personally. But of course, we also have the term actress. So, why are nipples? It was very... Yeah. Jordan Peterson, that was the video. Was it? Might have been. Yeah, I think it might have been. Was that the one where they're dressed up as the devil and they've got the snakes? Then what have I missed? Hang on. Emmy Lillo Ember. First thing you talked to her about. What have I missed? Hang on. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I missed the whole thing. Going to a therapist for the first time, only from... Oh, hang on, I don't have music on. Get our music back on. Let's skip this one. Hang on. Going to a therapist, your mum wants your mum to come and you're scared she'll know everything you say. Problem is you don't know them, you know. They're going to a therapist and 14 and you don't want your mother to come along. That's understandable. Yeah, Lucifer. Your mother was watching the Kardashians one time and where their tits were, they were blurred even though there were shorts above them. Apparently, your nips being hard and that being visible is NSFW. It's really stupid. You know what's really baffling? Here's an interesting thought experiment for you. I've seen numerous shows. Oh, the police horses. What did I miss about the police horses? Hang on. That's why they use horses. They can charge protesters. Oh, I see. This article's more than 10 years old. Holy fuck. What were we saying? Oh yeah, the nipples thing. Let's talk about nipples for a minute and how stupid it is that they're censored. There were episodes of NCIS where they would have a corpse on the autopsy table that was a woman, and they had her cut open, or like, yeah, they had her sliced open, and the lighting was positioned in such a way that the nipples were covered. On a corpse that had their guts exposed. Or like similarly, I've seen shows where they do plastic surgery and they do like breast implants and I've seen documentaries of that, and they will censor the nipples that they are taking off to insert the breast implant. Clearly gore is more acceptable in society than some nipples. Like what? Or like there was a video of the guy, like here's another weird one. There was a guy who got breast implants as a bet. I forget what exactly the bet was, but he lost a bet, and his friend offered, if you lose this bet, you got to get breast implants. So he did. He got breast implants, and they showed footage of him with these tits. Got tits. He's just a man with tits. Nipples aren't censored. What counts? How does this work? He was a man with tits. Not just like, what's the gynecomastia? No, this was a man with breast implants. So what the fuck? They let that hang free on television. But the moment it's a woman's nipple. I have nothing here. I'm wearing a bra for no fucking reason. Other than the fact that, quite honestly, I'm going to just let this out into the world. I did have a nip slip on stream once, wearing this very garment. Because I leaned over and it fell down a bit and you could see something. That's where I wear bras and tank tops under my dresses now. Scandal. I deleted the VOD, you can't find it. But it's like, I have presented masculine my entire life. My nipples would have been completely fine. Actually, there's a story there. I've never liked being topless. Do that bit of psychology. Yeah, I never liked being topless in the first place. But it's like now, these are technically feminine presenting nipples. So if I were to take my shirt off, I could get banned for it. Which is just stupid. What an asinine concept. Seeing all that just utterly infuriates you, frustrates you because you can't fix it. You can't actually do anything to fix those things, and God only knows how much it torments her. Oh, okay, so hang on, let me go back. Sorry, we've been going so on and on about different topics that I just keep missing chat. I'm so sorry, guys. You never realized how rough daily life can be for trans people until you made a friend at work who's trans.
We hope you enjoy your
Reverend
stay.
Dell, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. We hope you're having a good one. The punching clock's dead, name her,
Welcome
yeah.
to the Rogue Room. We hope you
And
enjoy your stay.
How do you pronounce that? Emmy Lillo? Emmy Lillo Ember? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. As you have been. Clearly. Thanks so kindly for being here. She uses the men's room for fear of bothering the cis women. And seeing all that utterly infuriates you and frustrates you. Yeah. It's really bad the way that... again... Oh, thank you for fixing my posture. I've been really slouching. Yeah. The issue with the public bathrooms thing, that's inherently we mentioned this before, it's a system of control. Gendered bathrooms are designed to make you feel like you have to be one or the other. If you are any point in between, or if you diverge from what you are supposed to be, then just the most basic institution of needing to go to the bathroom will oppress you. Good night, Jess. Have a good one. Thank you so kindly for being here tonight. It's been lovely having you. The Puritan history is fascinating and sad. They were kicked out of two... Oh, yeah, the Pilgrims? America's Puritan heritage. The Puritans were members of a religious... I swear they were like the same kind of group, but okay. This is on the History Channel website. Let's read about it. Fuck it. I've got some other news here, but fuck it. Let's just go into this. Oh, I've got Marjorie Taylor Greene cringe. We'll save that for tomorrow. Yeah, we'll save that for tomorrow. We've had a good stream tonight. Thank you so kindly, guys. Where's my water? Thank you for the hydration. How do you want me to refer to you? Emililo? Ember? Also, for anyone who is out of the loop, we have the pronouns extension. If you guys want, if you guys are using Chrome, if you guys, gals, and non-binary pals are using the pronouns extension or not using the pronouns extension, you should, because that shows up all over Twitch. And also, join my Discord and follow my Insta and sub to my Patreon. I'm just going through my buttons and my Twitter and my YouTube. Anyway, that's enough of that me spamming chat. There's a trans girl on Insta who documented her whole transition and would once a week post topless, joking when Insta nukes her post she will officially have chick tits. That's sick. I love it. If I had the, like, this is again the thing, I don't like being topless in general. I've never liked it, which should have been a huge alarm bell in my head. It's like, back when I was a kid, we're going to the beach, I had to have a rash shirt on. I could not let anyone see me shirtless. As a child, I had that fear. Violent Queen, how you doing, lovely? What's going on? Guess they were technically Puritans, but the Quakers were even more extreme. Please like me. I like you, Sammy. You're very good. You are a very good person. You're constantly dehydrated because the thought of using public bathrooms because you're scared to drink too much. Yeah, that too. I drink a lot of water, so generally speaking, if I need to go out anywhere, I try to go to the bathroom before I leave. Had to have that because your parents were paranoid. Quakers make some great oats. Let's have a look at the Puritans. Let's take a look at what the Puritans are. Because I haven't really read too much on this. I would like to know. Because I always talk about Puritanism in the sense of like sexual repression and all of that kind of stuff. We don't need the alt-right, that. Well, I did want to watch No You Can't Escape Poverty. But we're running short on time. So if we do that, that would have to be the very last thing. So here, I'll throw it to you guys. I'll give you the option here. Puritans are silly from what I know. Here's one for you. Violent Queen. There's that. Enjoy. You're fantastic, thanks. I am doing well. I'm doing good. Really just wanted to come say hi. I appreciate it. Thank you so kindly for being here. Tonight's been a really, really good one. I've been really enjoying the conversation. It's been stellar. This is, you know, Cinnamon Ghost Crunch. Fucking love the name, dude. How's it going? Well, actually, stop me if I call you dude and you don't like it, because we have been discussing the validity of using terms like guy and dude and all of that. Are they gender neutral? Are they not? I mean, I could put up another poll after the fact and we could decide. Poverty? You guys want poverty? We can come back to Puritans. I'll put a note in it. We'll come back to Puritans. In Scotland, they are putting forward a gender recognition bill, a good thing that allows self-recognition, and it would mean you could self-ID. Controversial. Of course, there's a lot of transphobia. You're being rather... What? What have I found? What's this? Scott Gov, you're being rather silly. Lots of these. If you think a woman has... Oh, I see. Okay, it's an image. I thought you sent me a website link and it was just broken because I'm not in Scotland. I get it. You're being rather silly if you think a woman has a willy. Very clever, transphobes. I bet you think you're smart. I'm going to put a pin in this. We'll come back to... Because I think poverty is winning with 7 votes. So... They're opposed to the bill. Scottish chat only. I need to learn some I need to learn some Gaelic so we can Gaelic shitpost on stream. Here we go, Puritans. Read about the Puritans tomorrow, hey? Sounds good. I like it. I'll put this... I've been saving my stream notes to my desktop. Which, again, hasn't really applied to much. I'll make all these stream notes and we won't get through most of it. Dude is a universal term, but you appreciate asking. Yeah, well, it's been a pretty heavy topic because it does feel kind of specifically masculine, and that's why I feel like asking, because I want people to feel comfortable how I refer to them. And I really want to get rid of guys when I'm talking to you lot. When I'm talking to you lovely folks. I want to get rid of that from my lexicon because I would prefer to refer to you as a gender neutral term like folks. Friendos. You're my friendos. Also, here's a weird thing, not entirely related. I wasn't subscribed to Riley Grace Rostrong until today. I don't know why. She's amazing.
Welcome to the Rogue Room. We hope you enjoy
Gross
your
Crunch,
stay.
welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, you lovely person, you. I do want to end men, that's why I transitioned. Although, in response to Vorsh's latest video. We'll do the poverty thing in a sec. Oh, I can't spell apparently. I went and typed Vuas. Talk about this thing for a second. The very real bread tube crisis nobody is talking about. Watch this video. It's fucking great. I love it. And I left this message, which I thought was cute. That's it. I'm detransitioning to support the cause of male bread tubers. Don't hate me. I made a trans joke. Okay? It's a shit post. Don't hate me. You should watch this video. It's fucking great. It's a response to Abigail Thorne coming out. He's, of course, in full support of her transition, as you would expect. Please watch the... Why is this Steam thing still here? Okay. Oaks is gender neutral where you're from. Oh, folks. F-O-L-K. I feel like there's a few terms that are like particularly masculine. What's up, fuckers? That's a good one. Oh, I've lost the tab I had open. Let's watch poverty. Why you can't escape poverty. Fucks. Gotta be careful or the eggs will get you. I bet you there are people who are waiting for Vorsh to transition next. Okay. Love how someone else's identity is important to others. Can't we just let people be? I wish. I wish. That would be lovely. That'd be fantastic if we could just exist. I'm a very feminine character. You mean my whole me? That's what I'm going for. The yellow sticker saying the Scottish government is stupid and encouraging others to oppose the bill on self-ID. That is stupid. Female until proven guilty. Death to men.
Welcome to the Rogue.
I will end you, Draco.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Noah. How do you pronounce that? Noah Truliotis X. Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us. Sinan B48. Hey, how you doing, lovely? What's going on? Imagine being bothered because people don't fit a cis heteronormative ideal exist. I know, it's crazy. It's such a loopy concept. Folks, yeah, folks. I consider folks to be as gender neutral as it can possibly be, especially considering, by and large, folks in trans discourse, LGBTQIA plus discourse online is a pretty standard nomenclature. So I'm just going to adopt folks as much as I can. The worst thing about the sticker is many have razors. Oh, I hate when they do that shit. Why are these people so psychotically violent towards other people? Goodness gracious. There was another thing like that a while back.
We hope you enjoy your stay.
Donald Dozra. Is that how you pronounce that? Donald Dozra? How are you doing? Welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us, friend. You're everything and nothing. You could be like Jim Sterling. Like I mentioned the other night. I am a trash girl from the gender dumpster. I think that's a good enough descriptor. Absolute poetry. The heathens are allowed to thrive. They will turn our pure children. Oh no! They've got endocrinologists roaming the street transing our children. Get ready for your estrogen shot, boys. Soon to be girls. Gender in this economy? Yeah, non-binary finery is legendary. She is a poet. Okay,
this country have computers, have big screen TVs, have cars, have air conditioning. This myth that there are kids who don't have anything to eat is a total lie.
Gazebo in the sky, welcome to the Rogue Room. Sit down, grab a drink, and chill out with us as we watch. No, You can't escape
Robert,
poverty.
I'm just going to give our viewers a quick run-through of what items poor families in America have. 99% of them have a refrigerator.
Right.
But there is a reason for poverty in America. There's almost always a reason attached to it. It's usually personal responsibility or something like that.
Oh my god. My stomach is rumbling, dude. I aspire to having this level of production quality, by the way. My production quality is shit. I think I did well with cancelled, but it
people in extreme poverty have it bad in this country. But here's the thing, I need this to be about me somehow, so let's look at that income bracket. Subscribe to my Patreon, by the way. I earn $12 an hour working full-time in the film industry, a life of luxury I know. However, I work for a small company and am hired as an independent contractor, meaning I don't get any time off, sick days, or health insurance. Living like this as an adult and having a car payment, rent, and other adult costs, it's made me realize something. Everything about daily life for people who work paycheck to paycheck is built to keep you exactly where you are. Our economy is centered around bleeding people dry, with high interest payments, late fees, and so on. The thing is, I'm one of the lucky ones. I don't have any student debt or medical conditions that you know of. There's plenty of people who are above the poverty line who spend half of their income on insulin just to stay alive. I'm sure you've heard by now.
Listen to this privileged little shit. Listen to him going on about the privilege he has. Look at that jacket. Goodness gracious me having the audacity to speak out on poverty. I'm sure this video is good.
About the Federal Reserve findings, the statistic that claims 40% of Americans couldn't afford a $400 emergency.
Capitalism requires poverty,
we
exactly.
Haven't heard from that same study.
And this is why capitalism is bad. It is a nice jacket.
Pay their current month's bills regardless. Not to mention the 1 in 4 Americans that skipped necessary medical care in 2018 because they couldn't afford it. Half of Americans make between $25,000 and $30,000 per year, an amount of income that can definitely provide luxuries like a refrigerator, but often can't provide
luxuries like a refrigerator. I can't believe that's a right-wing rhetoric. That's so, like, most Americans have a refrigerator. Yeah, they should. Refrigerators are still stupid expensive, by the way. So, poor people, actually legitimately poor people, have to scrounge together every fucking dollar they can to buy one of the cunts. How you doing, Mr. Blue Dot? Businessmen, let's make it impossible for poor people to stop being poor. Also, businessmen, poor people are poor because of their own actions, exactly.
Larger luxuries like healthcare or housing. When it comes down to
costs
it,
a lot more to live with that one,
exactly.
Exactly.
Running on empty, but we've glossed over the struggles of average people with cheaply priced creature comforts. As a society, we've been trained to view luxuries as a hierarchy. There's food, healthcare, and housing, basic essentials.
Gotta head out, Emma. Have a good one.
Available to everyone. And up closer to the top, you have the new iPhones or a PS5 or whatever boomers think is peak luxury for the privileged youths. This top section is for people who have worked their way up the pyramid.
Absolutely.
These are things you should only buy once you have the basics covered.
I mean, this is the thing that I genuinely do believe this. I am a proponent of the idea of universal basic income, and that should also include essentials like a stove, a fridge. There are things that we should expect as a society. There should be a level of base furnishing. So, like, I believe in socialized housing. I believe, in essentially, housing for the poor, right? And that should include basic furnishing, such as refrigerators. Obviously, stoves are already factored in, but everyone deserves to chill out and have a fridge freezer, exactly. For cookware and a stove and oven, yes, exactly. So at least as far as I know, every rental I've had, they have got a stove built in. I would be very, very surprised to find a rental that didn't have one.
So when we see someone talk about how much
self-care,
they're
get your
struggling when
kneecaps.
they have
Radio
a
Amber,
PS5
have an
hooked
amazing
up
day.
to their 4K TV, we're trained not to believe them. This is exactly how the wealthy people in our country want you to think, because it works both ways. It prevents the middle class from questioning the status quo, and it helps poor people convince themselves that their basic needs are met. It's the same concept as going to a gaudy hotel in Las Vegas for a night. You feel like you're doing all right when you're surrounded by the illusion of luxury, even if those luxuries are just cheaply priced commodities that advertising has brainwashed you into holding to such a high regard. Having the new iPhone is in essence the same thing.
No, I totally got you,
Audica. As a luxury of the rich and famous, but in reality it's a commodity you can get for an extra $30 on your phone bill every month. which makes it something poor people can use to fill the void. The fact of the matter is...
Also, our society has shifted in such a way that if you don't have a smartphone nowadays, you are actively hindering yourself. If you are in a position where you are making a good enough amount of income, there are some merits to even getting rid of your smartphone, because at that point you don't really need it. But generally speaking, I think people vastly underestimate how important smartphones are in our modern society. Like for work and such, for example, for seeking work and other such things. But of course, they are sold as a luxury item, like he said. The flat you live in is social housing, came with no white goods at all, no stove, nothing, had to buy it all yourself, dirt poor, it took months. Yeah, that's the unfortunate problem. My ideal social housing situation would be one that is far beyond the most basic of, and this is the issue, you know, if you present the concept of social housing, I believe it should have basic furnishing built into the system. Of course, that should be covered by the government. There should be, there's honestly like a great video. I was going to do social housing tonight, but maybe we'll do it tomorrow probably. The Gravel Institute did put up a video yesterday about social housing and why it's beneficial. And I personally believe it is a beneficial idea if we do it properly. And in my personal opinion, basic furnishing, refrigerator, stove, cookware, freezers, hell, maybe even a bed. Provide a bed in social housing rather than have the person living there. As far as I know, that was the point made. It's Vienna that has a really good social housing system. But we'll go into that tomorrow. If you needed to live, it should not be something you have to work for currency to buy. Absolutely. Again, universal basic income, if we had that should be allowed. I think that could be a thing that could be used for buying those essentials. You could distribute universal basic income based on the notion that you buy the essentials you need with it, including that sort of stuff, but it's very tricky.
This hierarchy has been flipped upside down, but nobody acts like it has. The monthly cost of a new iPhone is like $30, but the monthly cost of insulin without health insurance is over $1,000. If the pyramid was long—
That's another thing. My medicine, I'm glad that the drugs I am taking are covered by Medicare. We have a universal healthcare system in Australia, and Anthony Albanese, the Labour Party leader, which is the opposition in Parliament at the moment, is fighting for us to keep Medicare because they are constantly, the right-wing government are constantly trying to chip away at Medicare and take it away from us. My medicines are $6.80 a pack. I don't even know how much those would cost, but I know they would not be cheap if I didn't have Medicare to cover it.
Logical, your
I probably wouldn't be able to do medical transition at all.
A one-bedroom apartment can cost thousands a month. Well, your iPhone installment plan is like a fraction of that. As a result, you have diabetics rationing insulin, having seizures and brain damage in the process, while being able to post about it on Twitter from their new iPhone 12 XDXR SE2, or whatever they're calling it these days. No wonder it looks like bad money management to boomers who have a net worth of over $100 million.
Why are bread tubers so funny, by the way?
The thing is, it wasn't always this way. Commodities we deem as luxury—
It's the fucking deadpan thing. Like, I swear, all these bread tubers I've been watching are so good at just deadpan laying out a joke, as opposed to dipshits like Butterfield, where they have to scream in your face in order to try to get even the semblance of a laugh.
Used to actually be luxuries, and the basic things we need to live used to be priced as such.
Always the difficult goal, making our money reach out to cover more of our needings or wantings and luxuries.
In 1960, the average family income was $5,600 per year, just $466 per month. That same year, a color television cost $795. So of course, that was a luxury much more than food or housing was. You know what wasn't priced like a luxury back then? Food or housing. The average rent price back then was $71, with a house costing $11,900 or a mortgage payment of less than $60 per month.
I love these stats.
Insulin costs just $1 per vial.
Who's this vid by? This is Finding Subtext. This dude's only got 385 subscribers and his production quality is through the fucking roof. Dude, go sub to this guy. What a fucking legend. Inspirational. Yeah, Finding Subtext. There we go. I'm already impressed. I'm like, I need to up my game, man. I'm doing shit. I'm supposed to go to a house inspection according to my calendar in 8 minutes. That That's 12 a.m. It's supposed to be 12 p.m., you fucking dipshit. Budget envelopes. Your mother tried to get you to do those, dude. Yeah, I try to do a budget on my, well, I don't have Excel because I'm poor and I can't afford professional software, but on LibreOffice. There's the channel link. Thank you, Evo. Thank you so kindly.
Obviously didn't exist, your car payment would have been just under $60. And let's say you wanted to become a lawyer in 1960, well, your tuition would have been $475. Even adjusted for inflation, that's 1,100% less than what it would cost now. I don't think I even need to go any further here. Families in 1960 were able to do exactly what conservatives in the 2020s have been claiming is so easy. You could just work a few hours during the summer to pay for college. You could just do a little overtime at work and buy a house. All of the basics were attainable. And it's not like people are being lazy these days anyway, with productivity being at an all-time high. We are more productive than ever.
If you guys have any recommendations for other smaller bread tubers, I'd love to hear them.
History. So what happened? How are we able to buy
follow a bunch of the big ones, but I want to see the smaller ones.
1 month salary below the poverty line, but are unable to rent a single apartment? Well, it's actually quite simple. Over the years, the cost of living started creeping up because property owners and executives figured out that people will pay just about anything for the basics, but will opt out of luxury items if they're too expensive. The prices of luxury items had to fall, or else people wouldn't buy them in large numbers. However, people will pay just about anything to not starve to death on the streets. Or
I gotta say, Trent, I'm so sorry to hear that, by the way. You have to pick and choose what medication you're going to get each month because you can't afford all of them monthly, which leads to other health issues. Why can't I read? They end up costing you, and you're stuck in this loop of chaos. But you have a laptop and a phone, so yeah, you just need better budgeting skills. Yeah, I know. I hate that bullshit. I hate that whole better budgeting thing. You just need a budget better. It's like you just need to start saving. People told me I need to start saving because I bought $15 strip lights for my bed or some bullshit like that. I buy myself a tiny little luxury, and immediately they will say that you need to save more money. I'm just like, I can't, honestly. I've been trying. I've used all of my money this week. All of the $80 I had in savings, I'll be completely honest with you. I had $80 in savings. Had to go to essentials because other stuff has come up, and now I've got to pay for my medication with the very remainder of that savings. I do get paid on Friday, though. Why they coined bread tubers? I believe it's named after the book The Conquest of Bread, which I want to read, and then I will recant to you some ideas from it.
Find a job. So
you can read it for free online.
And start charging
Look up The Conquest of Bread.
A little more rent each month, and millions of diabetic people need insulin to not fall into a coma and die, so why not start charging just a little extra each vial? Charge people as much as they can possibly pay to survive. That became the new business model. Soon enough, the extra costs artificially placed on basic items sped past inflation and wage growth. And while TVs became more and more accessible, this created the illusion of economic improvement, when in reality, all that was happening was a massive redistribution of wealth. This eventually destroyed small businesses too, because overpricing basic essentials while underpricing luxury items requires having a monopoly
Thanks for this
over
recommendation
the
story,
market.
I'll write
So
it
out
down
went
as a
the
note.
local grocery store, and in went in the thousands of Walmart supercenters. Now there are less companies to work your way up in, less businesses to start, and less competitions for higher wages. This effectively killed the American dream and the ability to become an entrepreneur and start your own small business.
Yeah, the American dream's always been a fucking lie.
You know what? I'm tired of being in the 50%. I want to be in the top 1%. My ice stripper free trial is running out, and I need money now. Let's see what the various white men on beaches have to say about this.
Money me.
You're a grown-ass man. I cannot and will not support you.
Those are the exact words that my roommate and one of my best friends told me as I just informed him that I couldn't pay my $380 rent bill. Today, I'm a millionaire.
Stop right there. His rent
the
was
fucking
only
millionaire's thing, dude.
Fuck all this millionaire shit. I want to know where he's getting rent that cheap. And I've already hit a paywall. Getting rich quick, the rags to riches story. That is the story America tells itself to justify the rags. But why is this illusion being sold to us so often? Well, because we want it to be true, and we want to be the smart and creative entrepreneur who has gamed the system.
This is the exact mindset that goes into people who buy lottery tickets. They think, well, there's a chance. They think there's an opportunity. If I buy lottery tickets every week, there is that chance I could win. And they get so caught up in the idea of winning that they just keep continually, habitually spending on these damn lottery tickets. And, yeah, as he's going on, the same kind of thing here. Lotto is ridiculous. We lose so many gifted people to this broken and dehumanizing system. Exactly. And I would like to be a factor and point of the rags to riches story justifies the rags. It is such a good line, isn't it? Lucky that none of them are severe, so you can go without risking hospitalization. It would get stressful, though, yeah. Welcome to why you're happy to support crafty folks on Etsy by buying their pride stuff. Yeah. I'm totally buying a trans
where some people want it to be true so badly that they borderline worship rich people.
Except this time I'm going to give them my proper address from the get-go. I fucked up, and for 6 months I was waiting for this cunt to arrive. It's not going to show up now, because... There we go. My trans pride ring, which I'm very happy with. It's such a good ring. I need to actually honestly put a little... what's it called? What's the thing called? A link. This was made by Outer Peace Gear. If you guys want to get your own. I'm going to actually set up a link to it so you guys can support it too if you would like to. The reason I would love to, it took so long because I fucked up the address. And we had a back and forth communication for the past 6 months or so, or whenever it was I ordered. I think it was in September. We had a back and forth communication, me and the creator, me and the seller, and they were so kind and so understanding and so welcoming, and I just have to shout them out. They did such a good job. And we eventually figured out, somehow, I swear I didn't misspell my address. Why did I even switch to this? Hang on, we'll come back to that. I swear I didn't fuck up the address when I ordered it, but I guess Etsy might have fucked up. And I ended up sending them my full address because apparently it was listed as like one of my suburb, which is not a place. So I had to put my street and my house address in there. Hello, Champagne Supernova. How you going? We're watching this video by what are they called? Finding Subtext. About no, you can't escape poverty. I had such a good customer experience with that person, and I'm so happy with my service with them. They eventually got me the ring. We figured out what the problem was, and 2 weeks later it was in my mailbox. Marvelous.
In the process of writing this video, I came across an entire genre of YouTube videos called success affirmations and billionaire visualizations.
Oh, fuck, that makes me feel sick to my stomach. Look at this shit. Oh, God, gross.
You're supposed to pretend you're a rich businessman.
I am rich. I am wealthy.
Do you guys know what sissy hypno is? Please. End me now. I can't. I will now commit ritual seppuku. I have sinned, therefore I take my life. Why do I exist? If not to entertain. Oh, God. There's my piss poor acting skills, by the way. Clip it, ship it. Put it on livestream fail, dare you. $1 million bucks, put it on livestream fail. You gotta have the whole segment, though, so it makes sense. You gotta have the reference to fucking... I'm not even gonna say it. I can't get rid of my lightsaber now. Much as I hate my ex. I'm an asshole, holy fuck. We don't get along sometimes. We're okay. We're like acquaintances nowadays. She got me this for a birthday a few years back. Because I thought this is like the one thing from the Star Wars sequel trilogy, that was good about it, is Kylo Ren's lightsaber. And his outfit, honestly. His outfit's fucking cool. But the rest of that series can fuck right off. You can just go there for now. X's are X's for a reason. Honestly, seriously, stay tuned for February 14th. We're going to go into that. We're going to talk about that. Anyway.
I love being rich. I see myself being
This
rich.
goes on for several minutes.
I enjoy making money.
This is ASMR for mentally ill teenage boys. I mean, it has 1 million views.
Oh, okay, I have to call attention to this. I'm sorry, dude. Like, I like your video so far, but can we stop with the mentally ill thing? That gets me. I made a video about this. Mentally ill is considered an acceptable slur in this day and age, and I hate it. We will call anyone we dislike, anyone whose ideas we disagree with, mentally ill, and I really fucking hate it, especially as an autistic person. It's really fucking ableist, and we need to drop that terminology. I'll throw that out there right now. But other than that, so far so good.
However, to a lesser extent, this is where society is at the moment. We're 1 year deep into a global pandemic. Breaking news, I know. And financially speaking, it looks like we're back in 2008. Yet we cannot give up the fantasy of becoming rich.
It is a hard habit to break.
In fact, most people fantasize about it more than ever.
I used to use the
There's
R
videos
slur
on
all the
YouTube
time.
with 4 million views that basically boil down to, I'm a dumb bitch from the streets and now I have an expensive car. Some of the most popular videos on this website are just endless streams of large numbers. I gave people $1 million, but only 1 minute to spend it. Last
The Mr. Beast shit, we were just going on about this. This guy has some good points, editing and ideas, but why do you also want to kind of punch him? I get what you mean. But so far, I'm liking his content. I'm going to keep watching his content. I'm going to give this a like. I want to see the clip. Oh, you didn't get the bit where you got to get the bit where I'll do the full clip. Hopefully it fits into, one video where I've got like the reference to that thing and, get the kill shot. Thank you for the clip though, because I can actually use that to go back and get the full clip. Oh, what's this? Oh, finding subtext. Yeah, I'll follow them. Oh my god, what is wrong with my fucking guts tonight, dude? I think I'm like not eating enough, so my stomach's like, eat some more, you silly bitch.
to fall wins $1 million. I bought a private island, $800,000. I gave $200,000 to people who lost their job. Wait, why only $200,000? You spent $1 million on lottery tickets, but not. Last person to leave $800,000 island keeps it. This content has two types of viewers. The first type is people who deep down believe they could one day be wealthy and see Mr. Beast as an aspirational figure, a billionaire visualization. And the other type are people who don't buy into it, but still find themselves mesmerized by this content.
Yeah, stupid's
If you're
good.
in a situation where you're barely scraping by...
The thing is, using the term stupid or morons or idiots as those are actually still archaic medical terms that have become attacks over time, but I think they're more acceptable than using stuff like retard or referring to someone as mentally ill. But yeah, I know I said the R slur before and I said the word now, but quite frankly, I think there is some merit to referring to these words by their full definition, as it puts, I think it puts weight on them, honestly. I dislike the idea that, you know, certain words should not have any weight to them. Anyway, they're still ableist, just really old, and at this point they are so normalized, and maybe that's a bad thing. I mean, generally speaking, I've tried my best in some ways. I still struggle with it. I'm trying my best to move away from insulting anyone, honestly, but it's tricky.
Watching someone spend tens of thousands of dollars at Walmart without even flinching is extremely engaging. It almost seems like a superpower, a state of being you can barely imagine. When every grocery store trip consists of running a cost-benefit analysis between paying off medical debt or getting enough food, it's almost impossible to imagine what it would be like to walk into that same store with money being no object. This only works to a certain point though. If you go a bit too long without making a charity video, your brand image starts to slip. And if this country's economy keeps getting worse, people are gonna start really hating these YouTubers. If people start
I already fucking hate him, god damn. I used to think he was like a wholesome YouTuber, but like the more I learn about Mr. Beast, the more I'm just like, please go away.
Days without eating, only to watch Mr. Beast eat golden ice cream for 10 minutes, someone's gonna build a guillotine. And having to install a security
Please do, chop chop.
perimeter around your YouTube gang, now that wouldn't be a very engaging video, now would it? In order to have economic mobility, the ability to start with rags and end in riches, You need to have a country and an economy that supports this, and America has neither. As it stands right now, less than half of Americans are making more than their parents did at the same age. It's almost like their parents were raised in a more economically prosperous time where basic essentials were within reach.
Have I seen the YouTuber who does ordinary things? No, I have not. You'll have to send me a link.
Millennials are the most educated and productive generation in modern history, yet are suffering worse economic outcomes. And if that sounds bad, wait until you find out that college-educated millennials are far from the worst impacted right now. Lately, the winning narrative among conservatives is that you can escape economic adversity with trade school, regardless of situation. They always start with, burger flippers shouldn't be paid enough to raise a family.
Oh my god, I fucking hate that so much. Skilled labor is skilled labor. You should be able to make a living flipping burgers. Absolutely.
You want to feed your kids, go to trade school. And if you point out how that's not practical for every poor person to go to trade school, they respond with, well, try harder then. Here's the thing, whether you like it or not, this country has tens of millions of people who cannot complete classes that may or may not result in a new job. In Eric Jensen's book, titled Teaching with Poverty in Mind, What Being Poor Does to Kids' Brains, Jensen lays out quite a few examples as to how being raised poor can negatively impact brain development and set kids on a path that they often can't claw their way back out of. 35% of poor families experience 6 or more major life events that are proven to traumatize children, such as divorce, sickness, or eviction, with just 2% of poor families experiencing none of these. The book also lays out a few examples as to how getting a bad start often sends people into a death spiral that lasts into adulthood. And when you think about it, how could it not? Even just in the context of school and development. How could you expect kids to learn anything when their only meal that day was whatever this is? When a child wakes up to their unsafe apartment every morning to a lack of parents, or worse, a traumatizing situation, their brain is going to shut down. I would know, despite being raised upper middle class, my home life had some issues, to put it lightly.
I've got a few names here.
Sometimes I'd go straight from learning that one of my parents ended up in jail that day.
You have a friend who reps that trade school thing too. You're like, bro, that's not good for everyone. And it's also like it's also explicitly putting more and more people into, like, everything I've heard about trade, working in trade, is excessive overtime. Like, really institutional overtime, and I wouldn't want to encourage anyone to go into that. That's a whole other issue.
To being expected to do whatever I was doing in 6th grade pre-algebra, business as usual. Let me tell you, I didn't learn it. My GPA was literally worse than the ones these rich gurus pretend they had. And while I made it out of my adolescence with some brain function left, allegedly, I also had economic resources, while children of poverty have to deal with both a lack of economic resources and a traumatizing household. If you currently hold the position that any child who comes from poverty or a difficult home life can just work their way out of their educational deficit, I invite you to take a look at the summary of the book I mentioned earlier, because reading is for people who are more intelligent than I am, so really the summary works
I've already
really
got
well.
his Twitter open.
The reason I'm focusing on education and brain development so much is because people without these privileges are the ones filling these low-paying jobs. And these are the people our girl Jackie is demanding learn a trade to escape poverty. There's just one major problem. If you're raised poor and therefore overwhelmingly likely to have physical, mental, and educational deficits, and likely went to an underfunded school district in a bad area.
Just give me a sec, hang on. Let me get the link here.
Exactly do you think these people are going to get through trade school? As of 2016, this country has 32 million adults who literally don't know how to read. So what exactly are they supposed to do? I feel like it's this point in the argument when Jackie will fumble with the TV tuner in the back of her brain and visualize a Lifetime movie moment where the poor single parent just works really hard and does some night classes or something, and now they have a house. The problem is, if you're a single parent and you're capable of taking night classes, doesn't it make more sense just to work 2 jobs instead? If your child needs diapers and formula right now, are you really going to sacrifice that so you can work through your educational opportunities? No matter what you do, time you spend in school could be spent working towards survival. And most people would rather make some money now than more money later if they're currently starving or don't have their needs met.
I just tweeted about the video
because
this is really good.
Every major company did let their employees work their way up, There's way less management jobs at McDonald's than there are adults working as essential workers. I mean fry cooks. So how do you fix this? Well, in countries with more regulation and welfare services that aim to decrease the cost of living, we see a higher level of economic mobility, with America being on par with Pakistan.
Now, what did I miss? Hang on a second. It's not like trade has unlimited jobs either. Exactly. Not everyone can get into that. If every poor person went into trade, job saturation is a thing. And that's a huge problem. And that's honestly probably why the income that people who are flipping burgers, the income they make is so minimal, because it's such an accessible job and there are so many people in it that the companies say to themselves, well, we don't need to pay them all that much. We can pay them a minimal amount, give them few hours. Now, we've got so many people who want to work at McDonald's, for example. Just have a revolving door system. Don't pay them a lot. Don't give them enough hours to make a living off of. And thus it becomes a job that you're supposed to use as a starter job when you're 14 years old and you're in high school. Just trying to get your foot in the door, trying to make a few connections so you can have a career down the line as a manager of a McDonald's. Which is even worse. There's no human component. It's all cogs in the machine. It's dreadful. Someone who works in a warehouse that during peak season hires 4 times the number of employees they actually need. You've seen firsthand what happens when you yeet too many people at a given job. People standing around getting paid to do fuck all.
Unfortunately, many people don't consider welfare services as a viable option and would rather just claim everyone is too lazy, and that's why they're poor.
Progressive politicians love to talk about raising the minimum wage. It makes them sound caring, compassionate, concerned. They're on the side of the worker, standing against the greedy employer.
Guys, we can't pay people...
What did he zoom in on? Hang on. CEO of CKE Restaurants. Andy Puzzed.
Guys, we can't pay people minimum wage. Think of the millionaire business executives. What about their issues? Oftentimes, the debate around poverty...
That's another thing that's... It looks like some eHarmony wannabe. It totally does. They have a very defined aesthetic that... Very creepy. It's also very, very fash. What was I going to say now? I've forgotten. Let this guy keep talking.
Facts or figures.
He's your host now. I'm done for the night.
The narrative, unfortunately,
I'm virtually clocked out now.
Is that you can work your way up.
My shift ended at 14 minutes ago.
You start your career flipping burgers at 16, and before you know it, you're a 50-year-old fast food CEO. If upward movement in companies still worked like this, their logic would make sense. I mean, if you ignore how the economy works and assume every teenager
you're totally
in the
right,
workforce
Rivendell,
is
about the watering
just doing
down
it
of
for
the degree
spending
pool.
money and not helping their family survive. You see this concept echoed most intensely on conservative media outlets like Fox News. You especially heard this from Fox News commentator Bill O'Reilly back when he was actually on Fox News. We all know how that went.
But yet some Americans, and that's what my next question is to you. Why do they think they're owed all this by the government? What is that mentality? I don't get that. I never took a
I fucking hate that shit.
penny from the government.
So Democrats believe that people are entitled to certain things. They're entitled to health care. They're entitled to food. They're entitled to
the fuck they are.
Of life. Free. What you call free stuff that actually are necessities in life. A lot of the people who receive welfare, even the adults, are working poor. They're people who have jobs, but they don't have enough money to get
that
food.
myth has been busted time
What
and time
myth?
and time again.
It's not a myth.
If
No,
you look at the studies
at
of
least 50% are working.
if you look at the studies of poverty,
inside out.
Most poor people in this country have computers, have big screen TVs, have cars, have air conditioning. This myth that there are kids who don't have anything to eat is a total lie. And
it is absolutely not a lie.
It is absolutely a total lie on a mass level.
City. There are kids
Hang on,
in
what
New
was
York
that
City
graph?
who
Come
go.
back.
Absolutely a total lie.
People in food insecure households in the US 2020 projected to reach 50.4 million people, 17 million children. O'Reilly is an absolute fucking turd. What's he doing these days? I hope he's fucking flailing about doing nothing. Can he stop talking over? Yeah. People like him are blatant misogynists, as if that's a surprise by any stretch of the imagination.
Students in New York City. There are kids in New York City who go all weekend without anything to eat except when they eat in the schools.
That is such a biggest baloney.
Absolutely a fact.
You
and I know
produce
it's
one.
a fact.
You produce one.
I know. I know that because of the churches that I've worked with in New York City who serve those children.
This logic only works if you believe two things which are not true at all in the slightest. One, that upward mobility is something that's in reach for everyone, and two, that poverty is comfortable enough to settle into when you have a lack of ambition.
You're so mad that they can openly say it's a massive lie. Like, can you really not see being your own life experience? Well, the thing about that is they know it's a lie. And they convince themselves over and over again. They'll cite recitations in the mirror about these systemic issues that they flagrantly wish to ignore. They don't want to acknowledge the reality of the situation, so they lie to themselves, and they consume media that convinces them of their ideologies that are twisted and warped, and they convince themselves that the things that they're saying and the things that they're thinking are not wrong and are not based in bad ideas. Again, these are people that explicitly encourage a capitalistic hierarchy. Feel different things about this argument. Like, you do feel like many people don't use what they already have, but you don't think having those things equals someone being able to get what they need. Yeah, I get what you mean.
I've already gone into detail on the first idea, so let's focus on the idea that poverty is comfortable.
And yeah,
if
got to
Bill
applaud the
O'Reilly
woman for
believed
standing
that
up to him.
poverty was a horrible experience, he would have to forgo the concept of upward mobility, because anyone would choose to work their way up over literal starvation. So how livable is poverty? Well, if you go by the sense...
That being said, I have heard of actual, and like Coles tried to sell you on this idea, right? It's like if you move hard enough, work hard enough, I should say, you get the opportunity to move up. We'll give you opportunities to progress your career, but it was very, very rare that you ever actually saw anyone make any reasonable progress at Coles. Very rarely was there anyone that actually had any upward momentum within the system. So they'll tell you they have a development program where you can go into a managerial role and you'll be making more money, but they lie through their teeth about it.
You'd have to...
the more they push it, the more entrenched we get into capitalism, which will literally render this planet unlivable. I am genuinely concerned that by 2050, there's not going to be a planet left.
Make $12,000 a year.
My kids
or
don't
less
have a
to be
future.
below the poverty line. A number so
My
low,
actual
I downloaded
currently
the official
existing
census
children.
Spreadsheet because I thought I was
Not
saying
my
numbers from
hypothetical
1980.
children.
I don't
My
think I need to
literal
break
ones.
it down for you. The average one-bedroom apartment in this country.
No. Coles, Coles is a supermarket chain here in Australia. I know, very confusing, but fuck. I took my left button key off. What was I saying? Yeah, I am legitimately worried about the future of the planet, and yeah, do my kids have a future here? What is the I and A? I stands for intersex, and A stands for asexual. There you go. Intersex, of course, being people who are born. I'm pretty sure it's intersex. People who are born with Can someone explain intersex? I know what it is, but I can't put it into words at the moment for some reason.
$1,078 per month.
It's past midnight.
With my state costing over $1,700
I've been up
per
since like
month
7:30
average for
a.m.
the
I'm
whole
tired,
state.
okay?
Considering at this level you would make $1,000 per month before taxes, I'm not sure what the Census Bureau expects you to do. Maybe start an OnlyFans? I know I've considered that.
Most people in America, even people in poverty, live very well. You know the studies. That poor people in America have air conditioning, have cars, have big screen TVs.
Bill, William, if I may, have you ever stopped to consider how utilities like air conditioning were acquired? Maybe, just maybe, these are features of large and cheap housing complexes. And while air conditioning could be a luxury in a house, most poor people live in large complexes of other poor people.
Yeah, it's not an uncommon thing for people to be born intersex. I mean, it's not common, I wouldn't say. It is intersex, but obviously they are assigned a gender at birth, which is, again, a stupid concept. And I you know what really strikes me? This is a personal reflection at the moment regarding the trans thing, because obviously I'm a big trans gal. I met a friend recently. Well, no, not a friend recently. I've had this friend for a while now, and she introduced me to a friend of hers. And I found her on social media, the friend of the friend. And there was a bunch of posts about her raising her child gender neutral. And at the time, I was rolling my eyes into the back of my skull. And now I'm just like, I would like to raise my kids gender neutral if I could. If they want to explore their gender identity, I am totally going to encourage that to the utmost of my ability. Because obviously, by this point in my life, you can tell that I think gender is a really bizarre and twisted concept that's deeply entrenched in control. It can affect other parts of the body. Some can cause someone who presents masculine to develop breasts during puberty.
Another round true. On you.
Momo-chan, thank you for buying another round with 10 bits. Thank you so kindly.
Also, if I open Facebook Marketplace, a concept you are probably unfamiliar with, seeing as you're... Okay, if you never...
Hang on, go back. I was trying to see how far along in the video we are, and I missed that bit.
Complexes of other poor people. Also, if I open Facebook Marketplace, a concept you are probably unfamiliar with, seeing as...
Because he's old. He's making an old joke. Okay.
Okay, if you navigate to Craigslist on the World Wide Web, you can often find big screen TVs for free, so that's not really much of a luxury either at this point.
I love this dude.
I'm running out of ways to even debunk these people. At this point, if you think it's possible to live comfortably while poor, you really haven't given it any thought. Even if you make double the poverty line at $2,000 a month, you still couldn't pay for an average one-bedroom apartment and other normal adult expenses.
And that's the fucking tea, sis.
You could just trust me on this one, Karen. You can rest assured those filthy, filthy poors in the next town over, they're not having 80 kids as we speak right now to, defraud the government out of welfare. Using your pussy as a child-rearing factory is not worth an extra $16 of food stamps. Like, if you have lots of kids, it's not profitable to be relying on the government because the poverty line is still set really low, even if you have like 5 kids. And yet, when I argue with these people online, they always go back to the nobody who works in food service, ew, disgusting, should be paid $15 or $20 an hour. Think of the small businesses. And yeah, Morgan, small businesses would struggle to pay $20 an hour. The reason for this being large corporations are not being broken up, regulated, or even taxed at a responsible rate. Wealth has been redistributed away from small businesses and individuals and placed into the hands of like 100 people who gain trillions of dollars of collected wealth on a yearly basis.
If I see anyone defend Jeff Bezos again in my lifetime, I am going to throw the whole pacifist thing in the bin and start murdering people. Gender is so weird. You wonder often if you would be such a dude had you not been raised a boy. I mean, as someone who was generally raised a boy, so to speak, I can definitely state even then, took me a while to figure it out, of course, but we're here now. Do it in your own time, but don't turn away from it. If you are comfortable, enjoy it, but always question and seek further. We have so many wonderful layers. We do. Your business can't cope with the livable wage, then it deserves to go under. True, that is capitalism. In its own way, it is. I still believe in socialist democracy as a concept. I believe we should be moving towards socialist democracy systems. But because even the current democratic system is heavily corrupted. It's not truly democratic in a lot of ways. There are a lot of misconceptions around it. But yeah, you went down that rabbit hole and unpacked a lot of things about yourself and went, no, I don't like this gender thing, and now I want the best of all the options. Fuck being pigeonholed. Exactly. Something to look into, but you can feel it because it can cause some serious instability in your head, and you've already got too much of that right now. That's understandable. Capitalism's evil, but if it's what we have, and if they want to keep it, play by the fucking rules of it. Exactly. Why has no one pulled a Mr. Robot and robbed Jeff Bezos? I hope this Wall Street stuff leads to that.
We can't tax break our way out of this one. We're gonna have to actually do something here. But I can tell you this now, paying single mothers less than they would have made in 1960 is not a good start. The problem is, I think they kind of know this, but just hate poor people. After this guy called me a dreamer without experience after a heated Twitter discourse moment, I said I'm salaried and work an office job, which isn't 100% true. I work off shitty independent contractor pay in the film industry, but whatever. But immediately after I said that I work an office job, he backed off, never responding again after I sent him some economic data. Jackie, on the other hand, settled at, not all jobs deserve $15 an hour, in response to which, I'd ask why. Why shouldn't everyone make that much money, seeing as it's a fraction of what we should be making now? Well, I know why. It's because they want to preserve the distance their wages have from the burger flippers. They think...
Exactly, they just want to preserve. Remember, as we were talking about before, conservatives really don't want to lose the privileges that they have, and they see that anyone making a reasonable, livable standard is going to be the way they see it. It's inching towards taking away the things that we've worked so hard for. which you didn't fucking work for. You were born into a privileged family, you pieces of shit.
Poorly of people working hourly wage jobs at McDonald's, and they feel better about their own career.
Okay, I know I talked a lot about empathy earlier, and I do still try to exercise as much as humanly possible, but the reality of the situation is I really fucking hate rich people.
Choices if there's at least $10 to $20 an hour separating them from the burger flippers. Whenever I look at these people's profiles, it's always the same. They're usually middle-aged, upper middle class, and post about their various car projects. Or whatever else rich boomers like, I don't even know at this point. This is the demographic.
This is kind of personal. My dad's a car guy. He loves to take care of his cars. And he's definitely like a middle class type. He's got a nice house in a nice suburb. He has 2 cars. One of them is a luxury item, and his house is full of luxury stuff. He's got the latest phones, all this shit. He's got so many fucking phones. He got me a Google Home for Christmas. And a drone, which I haven't taken out of the box yet. I should have asked him for a PS5.
That hates poor people, and unfortunately, this is the demographic that holds the most power in this country. Wealthy, middle-aged white people. Anyway, that'll be it for this video. I want to know what you guys had to say, so leave a comment down below. I read all of my comments, and they help promote this video in the YouTube's algorithm, so it's always helpful to get likes and comments, engagement. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
That was awesome. I quite liked that. I didn't like the mentally ill bit, but, you know, what have you. Finding Subtext is the name of the YouTube channel if you want to go give them a sub. Seems like they put out pretty good content. Hobby is a curious term for very expensive toys. Yeah, true. It's also about insecurity too. If a burger flipper makes more, it somehow discredits their own wages. Yeah, one of the big arguments that I have seen about this kind of thing is, you know, if we raise the minimum wage for burger flippers, they'll be making as much money as the teachers. That just means you should be paying the teachers more, you fucking idiots. Mine's in trans guy that loves cars and motorbikes. I don't have a problem with people who enjoy motorsport stuff, motor vehicles, that's fine. But yeah, my dad definitely has got 2 very nice, expensive cars. And it's like, I could use some money, please. I might actually hit him up. It's like, there's a bunch of stuff I do need to cover, and I'm like, slide me a couple of bucks, maybe? I like groceries. I like food. I wouldn't mind some sushi this week as well. There's a little bit of a luxury. It's like $6 to get 2 sushi rolls. Yeah, just because someone else has something nice doesn't take away the nice things you have. So whenever I see the rich people complaining about the fact that poor people have got, like we mentioned, the Bill O'Reilly thing with the TVs and the smartphones and refrigerators, I'm just like, are we not allowed to enjoy little luxuries? You know, somebody might I'm sure somebody would complain about the fact that I've got a guitar. I've got all these collectible things that I've bought over years, most of which has come from when I had a job at a very terrible work environment, and B, stuff that I bought when I was living back at my mother's place and I didn't have any fiscal responsibilities. Yeah, the thing is, like, they really want us to be miserable. It's essential to our existence, and it's essential to the system they've built up and convinced themselves is the best system, which it is demonstrably not. It is 12:30 a.m. I am not watching any more YouTube videos. If you guys want to put me through more React content, we can do it tomorrow. What is this one, though? I'll save it. I'll put it on my watch later list. Oh, hang on. Watch this one.
A luxury you can't live without.
A luxury I can't live without. Coffee. I really like good coffee.
It's not a luxury. You can get it anywhere.
I guess, yeah, I like good coffee. What's?
I love coffee, too.
I like nice socks.
Socks. Your socks, would you put in your shoes?
Yeah, I really love them. I like kind of like, you know, cozy feet.
You're attracted to your socks.
I'm attracted to really nice running socks. Like, I'm always looking for good running socks.
That's not a luxury, though. Coffee and socks are not a luxury.
All right, give me a luxury. What luxury should I have?
Private plane.
Larry, I'm on DuckTales.
I've seen this memed about. I've never actually seen the video. That's fucking amazing. Also, yes, rip Larry King. Passed away recently. Very unfortunate. Legendary interviewer. But yes, the two concepts of luxuries, and I would agree. I like a nice coffee and I like nice socks. Like, you remind me of because you remind me of this. Each time you say fucking legend.
You been a naughty boy today, Eric? Eric, have you been a no? Have you been a naughty boy today? You're not a fucking legend at all. Did you bash up the dog? No, you're not a fucking legend. Did you scare the cat? Did you scare the cat? Lester, don't laugh at him. He's not funny. Eric, look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. You're not a fucking legend at all. You're a naughty, 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 naughty boy. You're not.
He is a fucking legend.
You're not. You're not. Lester, don't laugh at him. You're naughty.
Going off at Lester.
Naughty,
But Lester's
naughty,
just having a giggle.
No, he doesn't want to kiss a legend because you're not a legend. He doesn't want to kiss a legend.
Can I show you my TikTok? I've put up like very few TikToks, but that's fucking great. Where's my TikTok page? Hang on a sec. Don't play anything for me. Shut the fuck up, would ya? Where's my TikTok? Go to my TikTok for a second, because I put one up today. And I want to show you this, because I think it's adorable. I don't know how to... Oh, hang on. You know what? I'll put it on my Twitter. I put it on my Twitter, so that'll be easier to... Where's the... Not that. Here we go. This is... I just, personally... I love that my Google Home does this. Okay? Again, a gift from my dad, who is quite well paid. I don't know his exact income, but he tends to get me and my sister nice gifts. But generally speaking, not really a whole lot of other support in any other ways. He hasn't, for example, got me an internship at his work or whatever. Anywho. Hey Google. Meow.
This is a cat.
I love that it gets Smudge's attention. It's the most adorable thing. And it does not fail. If he's in the kitchen, I'll just go, hey Google, meow. And he's... Oh. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, it's 12:34 a.m. I am very, very tired. I need to go to sleep. That was a good video. Finding Subtext, if you're out there, you are a very good YouTuber. I highly recommend you guys go and sub to him. Oh my god, my gut is rumbling like fucking crazy. I'm going to have to snack on something before I go to bed. I am going to send you all to... Who do we want to go to? We rated Richie recently. Thank you for the hugs. I appreciate that. Even though I go on about how I don't like touching, but... You know, I do, though. I'm just being facetious. Lost to You, are they live? I mean, I wouldn't mind reading someone new. They are live. Is that how you pronounce it? Lost to?
What's your... I thought of that. I'm like, well, this is why I'm perpetually confused.
I have a recommendation. Well, I was thinking Pinnipy because she's playing Jackbox. Might be an idea. What are we thinking? Because we can go to More Politics. If you want. They've been going for 3 hours. Do we raid them? She's doing Just Chat. Oh, she was doing Jackbox. Maybe she's changed it, yeah. Either that or I was thinking Grizzly's playing Hades. I do need to pester Grizzly soon for some Dark Souls. We have been planning to play Dark Souls 3 on stream together soon. So that might be a thing. A gaming stream from me. God. Cuckoo Kachoo? I'm always looking for new people, so... You know what? It would be... This is gonna sound really... I mean, this person they're doing what? Oracle cards for the week ahead? How do you guys feel about tarot cards, on that note? I like the aesthetic of it, but I'm not huge on the whole spirituality thing. That's a personal thing. Wait a minute. Someone followed me. Oh, okay, hang on, never mind. Alright, cool. Their name... Someone followed me on Twitter. And at first glance, I was just like, oh, it's another one of those fucking spam accounts. It's not. they seem like a cool person. So we got a few options here. We could go Pinipi, we could go Sue, or hang on, I've lost them. Hang on. So Pinipi's doing Jackbox.
Ryan.
Oh, stop. Let me do a poll. I'll chuck a poll up, and you guys can decide if you would like to. Or just vote whoever you feel like. Tarot and astrology are interesting, but ultimately to you are other ways of understanding things, not necessarily any more valid or true than any others. I'm very, very critical of anything that doesn't base itself in the observable reality of the world we live in. That's my main thing. I dated a girl briefly who was kind of into the cards, and she did my tarots once, and I was just like sitting there awkwardly like, yeah, those are definitely cards on the table. I'm like, doesn't really tell me anything. My personal, well, hang on. The one thing I do enjoy, though, is there was, and I don't think you can get these anymore, a tarot card set that was Bloodborne themed, and I would love those just for the sake of the fact that they are Bloodborne themed, which is my absolute shit. But I was raised largely atheist, so I don't ascribe to any spiritualistic stuff. Ascribe, subscribe. What phrase would you use? Okay, so it looks like Pinipi's in the lead. We got 2 votes for Pinipi. Subscribe to that? No, yeah. Ascribe is a different thing. I believe, maybe I'm making up words again. This is the problem with having a vocabulary, is I make up words sometimes because I think they are words, but they're not. Did we raid Pin? Oh, she's already, the volume's on. Did we raid Pin? Ascribe, attribute something to. So it is a word. Okay, I'm not making stuff up. Good. Into it for the ideas of connecting to the earth and yourself and using that energy as a positive form of spiritual connection. Well, that's good. I can see the positivity of it. All right. I'm going to follow these other 2. Even though they're live, I'm going to be that person. I'm going to follow them so I can hopefully check in on them later. Even though they're live right now, they're going to thank me for the follow or something. And I'm not going to fucking... Yeah. Let's read Pinipi, and we'll be live tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Thank you, everybody, for being here for such an honestly tremendous stream. It has been so mind-blowingly fun. We've done a ton of discourse today. We've done a lot of the discourse. You have not already followed my YouTube, my Twitter, and my Instagram. Please do that. Watch my latest video Cancelled, and stay tuned to my YouTube channel for my next upcoming video. And then I promise, like, the next one's a little bit more of an abstract concept, I suppose. But after that, I promise I'll do something that's really breadtubery. I'll tackle the system in some way. I do want to talk about diet culture in a video. I don't know when to do that, but there's a lot of systemic issues there in diet culture, and especially the fitness industry. I'm not sure just yet. A lot to work on. And I have entirely too many big ideas that I can't execute just yet. Thank you for the hugs. Thank you for the good times, everyone. Love your faces. Not red tuber, bread tuber. Anyway, folks, you've been so good to me tonight. Thank you for sticking around, and I will see you when I'm looking at you.